Sorry, I'm arranging some signs here. Give me a second. There's nobody here, but hey, maybe somebody will arrive. And they'll see me struggling or trying to make sense of the signs and everything that I'm doing here. There's a lot of people around today, so I thought it's not a bad idea to do some activism. Hey, Roy Estem, can you hear me okay? You guys want to try a social experiment?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. You want to try the social experiment?
Yeah.
Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, no.
What's your name?
Hey, my name's Jude.
Judd. Nice to meet you, Judd.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, Judd, I'm gonna ask you. I'm assuming you're against slavery, right?
Absolutely.
Why is slavery bad?
Well, no human should be an object to be possessed. You know, that's just not right on any level, I would say.
So humans should not be property.
No.
What is it about humans that makes them, that gives them this, I don't know, this right to not be property?
Well, I'd say that they can feel pain, you know, consciousness at base level, a kind of complex idea of consciousness.
Okay, I like that. Do you think animals are the same?
To some degree, I think they're also conscious.
They feel pain, right? They have
Yeah.
emotions.
I study psychology, so that's a big thing we do,
Yeah.
like with free will and animals, so they do to some extent.
Yeah. Do you think animals should be property?
No, not generally.
Not generally.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Do you think that in animal agriculture, for example, animals are treated like property?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that's right or wrong? How do you see it?
It's a hard one. I think when you put it that way, it sounds wrong. It
Yeah.
definitely does. That the logic in that makes sense. To some degree, I understand eating meat if it's wild, but I don't know that I agree with it in that situation where it's farmed.
Yeah. So you would agree that it's wrong to own sentient individuals who have emotions, right? Because
Yeah.
they maybe want their liberty, and the most important thing is they want autonomy, right?
Yeah.
The capability to decide for their own.
Yeah, I would say so on that basis. Yeah.
Okay. Do you consume any animal products? I'm not judging. By
I
the way.
do. No, I do. I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Despite that very well made argument, I do still generally. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's a contradiction there between you saying that I'm against slavery, but at the same time supporting animal slavery?
I would still draw a distinction between slavery and eating meat, although I still think it's not necessarily a good thing morally to consume meat. But it's maybe something I don't punish myself for.
But do you think that meat is the product of slavery?
I don't know. To me, it's not the same as slavery. I think that is to diminish how terrible slavery is in terms of its impact on humans. But I still agree it's bad. I still
Yeah.
agree with that. I'm not debating on that at all.
So, so if you think meat is bad because of what animals go through it for it, right? Like them having their liberty taken away, them having their autonomy taken, them being killed for it.
yeah.
What is holding you back from not supporting it? Because if you think it's bad, then why do you do it?
Maybe the social acceptance of it, you know, because
Yeah.
I would say there's like a clear, kind of acceptance of eating meat. It's not something people think about too much, so it's easier to do something when other people don't judge you for it.
Yeah.
And I feel it's one of those things where if I was eating meat at a restaurant, no one's going to say anything. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what you mean.
absolutely,
But like, if everybody were to be accepting of having sex with animals, would you do that?
No,
No,
definitely not.
No.
Yeah.
Can I ask why?
I suppose just objectively, it just feels wrong on a base level.
It would still bring you pleasure to some extent, right? You would
I
still
hope
be-
not.
Yeah.
I absolutely hope not.
Do you think there's a like? I mean, obviously there's differences between it, and I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. But do you
Yeah.
think there's any particular difference when we compare having sex with animals and killing them for meat?
I mean, one in some sense feels practical and serves an evolutionary utility, and that eating meat helps us survive. I'm not sure that having sex with animals helps with that.
Just to be clear, because
Yeah.
I want to clear this out, like we don't eat meat to survive, right?
No, but
Because we
ours-
can eat plant-based products, and it's
True, but psychologically there is a drive in the sense that nobody needs anything anymore. We don't need to have kids. We don't need to have a partner, but
Yeah.
we still do it because evolutionary speaking there is this drive in us that forces us, makes us inclined to.
So if evolutionary speaking, you were to find out that it's better for you to not eat meat, would you do it?
Potentially, yeah. I'm
Potentially.
always open. I would always be open to
Yeah.
changing my diet if I thought You know? Yeah.
But if evolutionary speaking, it would be better for you to have sex with animals. Would you do that?
No,
No.
I just wouldn't.
No. So there you go. You have a line. You see, there's a
There's a
contradiction
line.
there. So
Yeah.
so that's not the thing that is keeping you from eating meat, huh?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, because the way I see it, we can get nutrition from plants and plant-based products, and we can get nutrition from animal-based products, right? I'm not one to say one is better than the other. I'm not here to say that.
Yeah,
what I'm here
yeah,
to say
the
is that there is a moral side to it, right? Whereas when we farm for plants, sure there are animals who are being harmed in the farming process, but animals are harmed in all kinds of processes,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
whatever it is,
makeup.
rebuilding houses, whatever we
Yeah.
do. But when we are choosing for animal-based products, we are intentionally putting an animal to a slaughterhouse. We are intentionally treating them as property. We are intentionally killing them for something that we actually don't need, right? Because we need nutrition, which we can get from plants. So I'm just curious, how can you morally justify that?
I can't necessarily. I mean, those are some good points. I think there are some points made for animal testing and maybe like medicine, that kind of thing. But no, I can't argue your point on that.
No, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to, I'm here trying to get people to kind of see this other perspective because, animal agriculture, they have a financial incentive to keep animals as objects, right? They have a financial incentives to keep them away from us, from us seeing what they go through, from us seeing the fact that they would want to live, that they don't want to die, and all this stuff. So I have none of that, right? I just want to open minds and for people to see animals as they are, as individuals. And it kind of feels like you do that, right? So like, if I could push a little bit, I'm curious, like, where is that line that you draw? Because would you, for example, eat dog meat?
I don't know. In some sense, yes. In that I don't know that you can draw that distinction between different animals. So as much as I have a dog, I would never consider eating it. From the perspective that all animals are the same, you'd have to eat dogs as well as pigs or chickens or anything else.
And then, if you go even further, humans, for example, right? Would you eat humans?
No.
No. So why not? Like, what is it about humans that makes them that you would stop and not violate their rights?
I do think there's something to be said for complex consciousness. So an animal that is more complex cognitively can experience more suffering, I think. And so I think for me, just being able to relate to a human being and knowing how complex every human being is, I couldn't imagine it.
But what if we were to find a human who cognitively has the same capabilities of an animal, right? Like
No, that's a good
cognitively impaired
I
human.
never thought of that. Yeah, and in the same vein, I still wouldn't do it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It feels to me like a lot of the times, the reason why we don't do it to humans is because it seems very fucked up to us because they look like us, and in a sense we can very easily empathize with them.
Yeah, that
But
makes
the
sense.
reality is behind the eyes of animals, just like behind the eyes of humans, there's individuals all across, right?
Yeah. Once you
So-
can look past like the obvious similarity,
Yeah.
there's a shared kind of spark that all creatures have. Definitely. Well, listen, you've really opened my eyes on this. Like, I'm always very open, so like I will have a think about this.
So let me ask you one final question. I'll let you go.
yeah.
How many more animals should be exploited for you before you change?
Well, if I was to change my mind on it, as few as possible, I
Yeah.
would say. So, I mean, I suppose I can have a think about it with some of the points you've just made. I would encourage everyone to do the same thing with anything, just think about it deeply, have conversations about it, and you'll usually reach some better conclusion.
Exactly, and it's important that we do because maybe at some point in the past we could have justified it by saying we needed it, but nowadays we don't need it, and nowadays we just do it because we want to, and it's very much fucked up to take the lives of animals, to enslave them, to use them as objects just because we can.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sticking by. I'll give you a card that will help you with do some research.
Fantastic.
You have a Dominion.
Uh-huh.
They show you what animal agriculture is like. I highly recommend you watch that. You just gotta scan this code and that's it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I really appreciate your
Hey,
time. Have a
thank
great
you so
day.
much.
Good luck,
Have
man.
a good one. Cheers. Hello, Draculum. Hello, Juggernaut. We all need meat. It's not fucked up. We do not need meat. No. There is plenty of evidence that we can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. As also millions of other people. Hey, Draculum. Hey, Kane. Hey, no context. Yeah, no rain today. Hey, you wanna do the social experiment?
Yes.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Hello.
What's your name?
Diego. I am
Nice to meet you,
Mexican.
Diego. You're Mexican. Okay,
Yes.
that's okay, no problem. So, Diego, I'm assuming you're against slavery, right?
Well, I speak English more, not much, more or less. Not
Okay.
much.
Why is slavery bad?
Library back.
Why is slavery bad?
Library bad. I don't understand. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
Another
sorry.
question.
Then we got to speak English, otherwise it's
Yes,
difficult
yes.
for
No,
me.
don't worry about. Another question.
It's difficult. If we can't pass this one, the next won't get any easier.
Okay.
But let me give you a card. Maybe it will help you out. I'm just here trying to speak up on behalf of animals and trying to get them to change their ways. If you want to know what I'm about, you can just scan this QR code and watch the minion. That's it.
Okay. I'm scan the.
Oh, you want to scan it now?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Dominio.
Dominio.
Oh, he's in Spanish.
Yeah, it's in Spanish already. I recommend you watch this or this, the most important speech, this
Okay.
one. Yeah, they're both good videos and they explain kind of why I'm sitting here.
Can you repeat the words?
Say it again.
Uh-huh.
This one, The Minion. It's a really good watch. I recommend you watch it. You
Dominio.
probably don't know a lot
Okay.
of the
In
stuff
Spanish
that's
is
there.
Dominio.
Say it again. Yeah, it's Dominio. It's. I think it has Spanish subtitles also.
Ok. Exponiendo el oscuro vientre de la agricultura animal moderna a través de drones, cámaras ocultas y portátiles.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
El largometraje explorará modalidades
Give me 1
tribales.
second.
Here's in some platform like Netflix, Amazon.
Yeah, I
HBO.
think it's on YouTube. You can watch it there. You
Oh,
just,
it's
you just,
free?
yeah, it's free.
Ah,
It's free.
okay,
It's all free. Yeah.
Mira, okay. And the game changers in Spanish, el cambiador de juego.
Yeah.
We will go back here.
Okay. Sure.
All is in YouTube.
Yeah. It's on
Okay.
YouTube. Everything you have here is free. It's just resources to help
Desafío
you to get
22.
informed a little bit. Okay.
22. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'll just I'll get some more people.
Not
What
bad.
was your name again?
Diego.
Diego.
From Mexico.
From Mexico. I'm
City.
Chip. Yeah. Nice to meet
Nice
you,
to meet
Diego.
you.
Nice to meet
later.
you. Have a good one. Yeah. When there's a language barrier, what can we do? We don't want to continue. Yeah. Draculon, watch the Minion. That's a good one. That's also what I told him. And he opened it up. He read kind of about it. And yeah, it's a pity that now that I'm finished with him, all the people, there were people waiting in line. Now they all left, but it's okay. More people will come. Yeah. What's happening in the chat, everybody? Hello. Is there somebody who denies the fact that it is abusive to eat animals? Because it is very abusive. The fact that you can take somebody's life for something that you don't need is pretty abusive. The fact that you can be violent towards somebody for something that you don't need is abusive, is it not? Hey, the vegan plant, nice to see you here. What other purpose do the cows serve? They eat all day long. Why do they need to serve a purpose for you? What purpose do you serve for me? If you don't have any purpose for me, Juggernaut, should I be allowed to kill you and eat you just because you don't serve a purpose for me? No. They can just exist if they want to exist. That's the whole point. Nobody has to have a purpose for somebody else. You have no purpose for me, again. Your purpose is to make people eat meat like they're supposed to. Who says that they're supposed to eat meat? Is it you who says that? Because then I could also say other stuff, Hey Svets, nice to see you here. Midwest says, because of you, I'm hunting today. Oh, Midwest. It's interesting that I triggered you so much that you're gonna go and kill somebody today. That's very triggered. You're very triggered. But okay. What can I say? I would urge you to reconsider your choices and to not kill anybody today. But I cannot police you, Fortunately, it is legal for you to go and kill. You want to try a social experiment?
No, thank you. You do?
Yeah. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
What's the name of the channel?
I'll tell you afterwards. What's your name, by the way? I'm Chip.
My name is Maria.
Maria. So, Maria, tell me, I'm assuming you're against slavery, right?
Slavery?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is slavery bad?
because it goes against human rights and it takes away people the right of the capital to buy things and their work should be como é que fala remunerado?
Paid.
Paid.
Okay, but let's assume that they are paid, but they are still kept against their will, and they are still traded amongst people, right? Like they can be owned, they can be treated as property. Is that wrong to have humans treated as property?
Yes, because
Why?
because even though we're different, we should all be given the same laws and applied to the same things, and we shouldn't be like owned by another human being because we're the same people. So not the same people, but we are alike. So there shouldn't be a person that goes up another.
But is there anything specific to humans that makes us worthy of not being kept as property? Like if-
Rationality.
rationality. So that's a form of intelligence, I guess.
Yes.
So if we find a human being who's not intelligent enough, could we keep them as property?
No, because rationality is not about intelligence. It's about being rational and being able to give your body controls not based on your instincts.
Okay.
So if you're able to do anything against your instincts, you're being rational. So I
So
think
in a sense, making choices, that's what you're saying, right? The
Yes.
fact that we can make choices and the fact that we can understand our instincts and make choices based on the instincts or based on what we do, right?
yeah,
Would you say that applies to animals also?
I mean, now we have machines, so we shouldn't keep using animals as our source of labor because we have machines now, and machines doesn't have any type of nervous system and
Yeah.
are not able to feel anything. They're not alive. So if we have substitutes, we should use them.
Okay, I like that. So how do you feel about the animals we use in animal agriculture? The animals that we kill for food, the animals that we exploit for what they give us. Do you think it's fair to do that to them?
No, my friend is vegan.
He's vegan. Your friend is vegan.
Vegetarian.
You're vegetarian. Why are you vegetarian?
Because of
Come
my
here,
Come on,
Kaito.
come on here.
Come here.
my moral beliefs.
Your own moral. What are your moral beliefs that made you go vegetarian?
Well, firstly was the influence of my siblings,
Yeah.
but I do believe that we as human beings are not like so different from animals in
Exactly.
a way that we don't have the rights to do what we do to them and to change nature, you know, like for example genetic
Engineering.
engineering, for example. I think it's a bit immoral because we also change the evolutional path of the different species,
Yeah.
and that's kind of that's kind of
I'm not done with you, Maria.
that kind of you know, we don't know how that's gonna impact the world in a few years because, you know, different species have their evolutional paths and we're like drastically changing that.
Yeah. But let me ask you, because you said you are for ethical reasons. I'm assuming what you're saying is wrong to kill animals for food, for clothing, for entertainment, and stuff like that.
No,
right?
I just think that today we have the luxury not to need to do that, and we have
So in
many.
the absence of need, it's wrong to do so.
Of course.
Yeah. So then, do you know what happens to
We're
dairy
perfectly
cows?
able to do that, and that would be also good for our overall economy. You know, if we do that drastic change and are able to you know deal with that.
But do you know what happens to dairy cows? Because you say you consume dairy products and eggs, right?
I do, but that's mostly because, you know, I'm still in the trying to. I've been a vegetarian for 3 years, but I'm also a minor, so you know, my mom, I can't like cook for myself every day and that stuff.
But I'm assuming that. Okay, so let's just go because I just want to be sure that you also should know what dairy cows go through. Do you know what they go through? Do you know why cows produce milk, for
like,
example?
They are raped usually and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
I
are
know.
raped. They have their babies taken from them,
Mhm.
and then their babies are killed if they're born male, and if they're
Yes.
born female, raped year over year.
Yeah.
until they can no longer be impregnated, and then they get killed also. And that happens at a quarter of their lifespan. Yeah, so wouldn't you say that's extremely cruel?
Yes, I do think so.
Yeah, and is it needed? Is it necessary? Do you think it's necessary?
No. I think and also in the absence of that, we as a very smart species and population,
Yeah.
we would be able to quickly replace that if there was a drastic change in the sense that milk was not available for us anymore. But we do have to go. We have to be at
Okay.
like in
We
have
like
a
seven
turn.
minutes. before,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you a card to help you out. I'll give you 2 cards because you're 2.
Thank you so much.
I recommend that you watch this and you watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. I recommend you give that a watch because you seem to have your morals on point. But when you buy dairy products,
Yeah.
you're paying for something that you don't agree with. So I don't know what's happening there. Maybe you should align with your morals.
Yeah.
And you seem like a compassionate person and you understand what slavery is. And animals in animal agriculture are enslaved, exploited, they're abused and
Yeah.
killed for something we don't need. So it's fucked up.
We have infinity sources, so
Yeah,
we are-
exactly. We have so many, so much other ways to
Yeah.
produce food nowadays that we don't need to do any of this.
Thank
right?
you very much.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you
Have
very
a good
much.
one
Nice to
and
meet you.
go vegan. Okay, no more
you.
excuses. Bye. Ah. The sun, if I put here, the sun is it's a bit of a dick, huh? Maybe I should have turned the other way around. Martin, hello, nice to see you. Hello, Ali. Yeah, nice and open kids. They seem pretty intelligent. They just didn't align their actions. So I'm hoping they align their actions. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how long we're going to be here today. I'm hoping at least 2 hours. Yeah, and we'll see. It's a good day to be outside. There's a lot of people. It's sunny. It's not cold. Juggernaut says we have to send animals into space. Juggernaut, how about we send you into space? Like, why do we have to send them into space? Well, how would it feel like if somebody said, hey, we have to send Juggernaut into space? Does he want to? No. But we'll do it anyway. We don't really care about that. How would you feel if somebody were to make decisions for you against your consent, and not for your own benefit, but for their own benefit? And that would mean, hey, if you need to be enslaved and do whatever they need to do, you will have to do that because otherwise they would kill you. Would that be fair towards you? Juggernaut, you drink a gallon of milk every week? Oh my God, man. You probably shouldn't do that regardless. That's not good for you. Milk is not what you think it is, but okay. This dude's out here thinking he's going to change the entire world, says Juggernaut. Listen, Juggernaut, yeah, I'm out here trying to make the world a better place, yeah. I mean, but you can try to mock me for trying to make the world a better place. That's not going to stop me, you know? But it will say something about your character, the fact that you try to mock people who are fighting for the rights of beautiful, innocent, sentient beings, and in a sense is trying to make the world better. But Juggernaut, welcome. Thank you for telling me what kind of character you are. So there you go, everybody. This is the vegan side, right? Where we're being rational, where we're trying to have conversations with people, where we're trying to show that exploitation is wrong, especially in the absence of need. Where we try to show that it's wrong to enslave, to abuse, to slaughter. Where we live up to our own morals, and then on the other side, there's people like Juggernaut, who what are they doing? They're saying, well, you're trying to make the world a better place, and mocking us for trying to make the world a better place. You gotta ask yourself, if you're watching this and you're not vegan, which side of it do you want to be? Do you want to be on this rational, logical side, or do you want to be on the side where you come up with excuses? Hey.
What's up?
Yeah, you want to do a social experiment?
Sure.
What's your name?
Charlie.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel,
Absolutely.
Charlie? Okay, Charlie. Where are you from?
From Barcelona, Spain.
Nice. Oh, I talked to a lot of Spanish people today.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
coincidentally.
We just got here.
You just got here? Okay, love it. So, tell me, are you against slavery?
Absolutely.
Why is slavery bad?
Because, I mean, how could a human being, own another human being?
Exactly. But what is it specifically about a human being that is that has the right to not be property?
I mean, we got freedom that we have our own thoughts, and why is someone going to own our thoughts? I guess.
Yeah, so we have freedom because we want freedom,
Yeah.
because we have thoughts. You said.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else? Like if a human being was born without arms, should they still deserve the right to not be owned as properties?
Could you repeat that
Yeah,
thought?
so if a human being was born without any arms
Uh-huh.
or legs, any limbs whatsoever, do they still deserve the right to not be owned as property?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. What if they're intellectually challenged? They don't have any higher capacity.
I believe it's the same thing. I believe that if someone is mentally challenged, they should have as much freedom as they are capable of, taking responsibility for their actions. I mean, someone that, knows what they're doing. There shouldn't be any label on that. It doesn't matter what characteristics you're born into. You should just be free.
Exactly, because behind those eyes, even if they can't communicate right, like some intellectually challenged person, there is an individual who has desires, who wants to live, and who has
Yeah.
an experience of the world of their own, right? They're
Yeah.
the subject of their own universe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, do you think this applies to animals also?
I don't think it does.
You don't think it does?
In the current industry, I don't think it does.
What do you mean in the current industry?
I mean that, I'm eating a hot dog right now.
Yeah.
Probably he didn't choose anything.
Yeah.
We put a lot of freedom and respect and love into, like pets, like what we consider traditional pets, cat,
Yeah.
dogs, in some other countries, other animals, right? But, cows, pigs, in the meat industry, they actually don't have any freedom.
Yeah, I know they don't, but do you think that they want freedom? Do you think there's an individual behind those eyes who wants to live, who wants to do whatever they want to do?
Yeah, I mean, any living thing, any living creature,
Yeah,
even a plant
any-
wants to live. Yeah.
Well, plants are not sentient. They don't have brains. They don't have thoughts, as you said, right?
Sorry.
They don't have.
Absolutely,
There's not a
but-
subject behind.
But they do have a natural need to live. Of course, a plant doesn't suffer because it doesn't have
Yeah,
the nervous
yeah.
system that an animal would have.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I agree.
exactly. Okay, if you say it's wrong to enslave and to own humans for the reasons that you mentioned, shouldn't it be wrong to enslave and own animals for the same reason?
I think that on a human condition, I think that it's wrong to have slavery animals. It's wrong to have those kind of industries that they just look for profit.
Yeah.
But I also do defend that, I'm an omnivore animal. Like, we're animals, right? Of course, everybody could have their own opinion, and you can be a vegetarian, vegan. My girlfriend is vegetarian, so I'm completely, on that boat. But at the same time, I'm against how the industry does it. I'm not against the thinking process of I want to eat meat.
But
I
let
think
me-
that's natural.
But regardless whether it's natural or not, right? You can't argue with the fact that we don't need to eat meat, right? We don't need to consume animal products.
Absolutely.
We have enough readily available options today that we can get plenty of nutrition and thrive on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, do you think that when we choose to buy an animal product, regardless if our instinct tells us otherwise, don't you think it's wrong to go with our instincts and kill an innocent sentient being and do something that we consider immoral, just because our instincts tell us to? Like, wouldn't it be the same if we go for our instincts when it comes to a sexual nature, for example? If we listen to our instincts and, I don't know, try to rape somebody, would it be wrong because there's a victim, right?
Correct.
So why wouldn't it be wrong to do something else to a different victim, like kill an animal?
I totally get your point of view, but I don't think that on a moral standpoint you can put like a human victim at the same level as an animal victim.
But you don't have to put them at the same level. You just have to understand that it's wrong to
Yeah,
do
but
so,
you,
as
but, but you
said,
just
right?
put rape as an example, and that's a completely
You can
different.
say rape to animals. You don't have to say rape to humans if you disagree with that. Although I personally believe that humans are animals essentially, and us trying to say that we're superior in any way to animals is just us trying to justify whatever it is that we do. And it's still no justification, because even if you think we're superior, that doesn't give us the right to do whatever we do to
I
animals,
think that,
right?
that we are superior, like naturally on the evolution chain. I think that we are superior, but I do agree that that doesn't give us the moral ground to just do whatever to them. That's why I'm against the industry that that doesn't do things right. Like, for example, this. I feel kind of hypocrite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how
talking
can you say you're against it if you're supporting
that's,
it, right?
That's why I didn't even take a bite as we started talking.
But why are you against the industry? Let me ask you this. What is it about the industry that makes
Because-
you be against it?
Because I don't think, sadly, the world's like capitalization and all of this, so like they just look for profit. So when we're talking about a slaughterhouse with like 600 porks, and then just slaughter them, I'm against that because you could give them, you know, much.
Because it objectifies them, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Right, but don't you think animals are objectified even in a smaller farm?
No.
Just do you think that so you think animals who are raised up to a fraction of their lifespan and killed for something that you don't need is not objectifying them? Do you think that
Not
animals
as
that
much.
are used, well, not as much
Not
in a
as much.
sense because I think it's our perception of it is not as much. But do you think that to the victim, the animal, they're still not objectified? They're still if they still don't perceive an objectification.
No, I mean they are objectified, just they are, you know, better treated, and morally that makes me feel better.
But you know, like there's actually been a study done on 1,300 dairy farms in Germany, and the welfare of animals is the same in factory farms as opposed to small farms.
Really?
Yeah, because while on small farms they get more time with the farmer, on larger farms they have standards in place, right? So if a cow is sick, they have a veterinarian always on call. They have medication.
yeah,
You
that
know, you
makes
see what I
sense.
mean? Like
Yeah, that makes sense.
there's better procedures around how to treat animals there. Whereas on a smaller farm, they might get annoyed with an animal, kick them from time to time, and stuff like that.
It's more like naturally, like
Yeah.
if you're sick, well, then you're gonna die, right?
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, they're kind of the same. It's just one seems worse for us because it reminds us of this objectification of animals. But if we think objectification of animals is wrong, then we should oppose it on all regards, regardless if they're coming from a small or a large farm, right?
I mean, with the statistics that you're saying, yes, but again, like, I do enjoy meat, right? And
But do you think that your enjoyment of meat, and I'm sorry for interrupting you there,
Yeah,
do you
no.
think that your enjoyment of meat is something to morally justify taking the life of an innocent animal?
I feel horrible saying that because the way that I mean, you're a very good speaker, right?
Yeah.
And the way that you put in the question is hard, but yes, same as, you know, probably you hear that like all the time, but it's like same as a lion doesn't feel bad for eating a gazelle. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for eating. I feel bad for eating this. I ate it because it's cheap and it's you know it's convenient
But you could
and it
have
was
gotten
right
the
there.
vegan option. But like, let me ask you this: because lions, do you think we can justify our morals by looking at nature or what lions
Yeah,
do, for
yeah.
example? Because lions, for example, in order to show dominance in their tribe is like a pack of lions.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they kill all the cubs of the members so that they can mate with the females faster, and they show dominance this way. Do you
Yeah.
think it would be moral for a human being to do the same in
Absolutely
their friend
not.
group?
Absolutely not.
Just because lions do it. So then we can't really use it as a justification that lions do it and pick and choose. Well, if lions do this one thing, it's moral, but if they
Yeah,
do this
but-
other thing, it's not.
I mean, because we cannot just compare to lions in in society. Like society evolves, our society evolves way past any other animal race. So we cannot compare ourselves to every aspect
But
of
all
the animal
animals are
kingdom.
evolved, by the way. All animals have evolved
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
same time as us, right?
Of course.
We just developed this higher intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even okay. Let's assume it's higher intelligence, but we
It
developed
is. It is higher intelligence.
It is higher intelligence to some degree because most of us are just monkeys who are good with who
Yeah.
are just good with using tools.
Yeah, I do
do
agree
you know
with
the,
what you say.
do you know the story of the Roman cement?
No.
So the cement that the Romans had was made, I don't know, thousands of years ago. I don't even know when the Roman Empire was here. But afterwards, they lost the formula, and to this day, they still haven't found the formula of Roman cements. They're still working
Jesus.
on it, right? So it only took one person or two people or three people there to kind of be smart about it, and everybody else to use it.
Yep.
Right. So
I mean, same as here. I don't
same
know
as here.
how a phone works.
Exactly. So we're all kind of the same. We're all kind of like animals in the sense that we're just taking our environment in, making decisions based on that, and doing what we've been taught. We don't really. I don't know how to put it, rationalize everything we do, right? We just go by instincts and by what we want. And animals do that all the time. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
because we're animals. We still have
Yeah,
instincts.
exactly.
What's your name? Sorry.
I'm Chip.
Chip. I'm sorry. I got people here waiting for me.
Okay,
I just got
that's
here.
no problem. Let me
But
just give you a
I
card.
agree to disagree. I respect your position.
I would argue, just watch the minion. You might understand where
Okay.
I'm coming from, because it's not it's pretty fucked up what we do.
Okay.
So just give it a watch, okay?
will do.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a good
course.
one. You guys want to give it a try?
What is it about?
Just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Okay.
Hi.
But is it at YouTube
I
or
can like-
TikTok?
It's YouTube. Where are you guys from?
We're from Spain.
Okay, they too. It's insane. Only
Ah,
Spanish
you was
people
too from
today. Yeah,
Spain? Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So many Spanish people.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I asked. So I'm assuming you girls. Oh, wait, but by the way, what's your name? I'm Chip.
My name is Alba.
Alba.
Nice to meet you.
Anna.
Anna.
Nice to meet you.
Anna and Alba. Okay. Easy names. Easy
your
to
name?
remember. Chip.
Chip.
Okay, so Anna and Alba, I'm assuming both of you are against slavery or ownership of humans, right?
Yes.
Why is that?
I mean, you're taking away the right of people, right?
Yeah. What right are we taking away from them?
The right
Their
to be
freedom.
free. Yeah, freedom.
The right to freedom, yeah.
Yeah.
What makes humans worthy of the right to freedom?
The fact that they are humans.
The fact
It's
that they
an
are humans.
inherent right just for being human.
That's just that, right? So if somebody were to be outside of the species of humans, like you were to find out that your friend Alba here is somehow genetically so different that she's no longer considered human, would it be okay to take away her freedom?
But what do you mean? Like,
Genetic. So when we talk about the same species, the same species means that we can reproduce and have fertile
Yeah.
offsprings, right?
Yes.
So we find out that she cannot do that because I don't know, her, mutations happen all the time. When she was born, a mutation happened that made her just that 1% less human than everybody that she's no longer considered human.
I think it's a difficult topic because where is the limit of being human or not being human?
But I mean, everyone can be free, right? Like animals,
Yeah,
humans,
that's the
like
thing.
every species in this world.
And that's where I come. That's where I go to. So you think animals should be free, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, because they feel, because they have emotions just like us, right? They
Yes.
want to live. Okay, so do you think that animals are free in animal agriculture, for example?
I mean, it depends on on how they are treated, right? Because there are many like farms where they exploit, ¿cómo se dice?
I mean, of course, they are not fully free because we are eating animals.
Yeah.
So we are killing animals. And for instance, we come from Spain, and
Yes.
there we have the toros, like the bull fighters.
Yes.
So that's obviously not animal freedom.
Yeah.
But
But I think that's like very controversial because they also like eat themselves,
Yeah.
right? So we
Well,
are
you
like,
mean animals eat themselves?
yes,
In animal agriculture, do you think animals eat themselves?
not in animal agriculture, but for example, like lions, they
Yeah, they
eat
eat another animals.
their priors.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. But
Okay.
before we go there, I'm just curious because you would agree that there is it is a form of slavery what we do to animals, right?
Yes.
We we keep them as properties and we use them for whatever we want and we kill them, right, when we no longer need it. If you were in their shoes, would you like that to happen to you, or would you want to be free?
I would
would
like
wanna
to be
be free,
free,
of
of
course.
course.
Yeah, you would want to
Yeah.
be free. What if you were given excellent conditions, whatever it is that you need, but you just don't have autonomy? You don't get to decide what you want for your life.
I mean,
I think it depends a lot of the person in the like.
I
Depending
think
on the
that
person.
humans are a bit like controlled. For example, when you are in a company, you are given freedom, autonomy, independence, but you are being controlled by someone that tells you what to do. So it's kind of like similar.
Sometimes you need to choose between freedom and living better. Like for instance, in China, that they control everything with cameras and that, but they have
Sorry.
less, like they have less, ¿cómo se dice vandalismo? Vandalism.
Less vandalism.
Yeah. So it's like you're choosing a better life, but
Are they choosing
you're-
in China?
No, you're not choosing, but
Yeah.
like you're having a better life without that much vandalism, but you're giving up. They are not, but like the government is making them giving up their freedom. So it's
So-
like sometimes it's,
Do you guys work in an office?
Yes.
no.
No.
Well, yeah,
Well, you
yeah,
have work.
I've worked.
You've worked
but
in
not
an
now,
office.
yeah.
Okay, so you've worked in an office, you work in an office. Let's imagine this. You're going to work, you work in an office in this hypothetical scenario. You go to work, you check in, and all of a sudden the people there tell, come with me. They take you to an apartment and they say, this is where you live now.
Yeah.
They give you everything that they think you need. And they say you no longer have to leave work. You now have a steady living. You get all the food that you need. Would that be okay for somebody to do to you? But you don't
But
get
I
to
mean-
leave. You don't get to do anything that you want.
But
mean-
then, why? Like, what do I have to give up for that? Because they are not gonna give me everything for free. There is a
Oh
price.
no, you give
for
away your
everything.
freedom. You don't. You no longer can do that.
I
You
mean, I
can no-
think
you're no
that
longer free.
happens.
I wouldn't do that.
I think
because
it
I
depends
think it's
on the
really,
need.
it's really difficult to, like, it's really dangerous to
But I
give up
think it
your
depends on
freedom.
your needs. I mean, there are people that need to have money, need somewhere to live. so they will give up their freedom for that. But for example, us, we are lucky to be in a family that can help us economically, so we will say no. Like we
Okay.
prefer freedom because
But okay,
But
now let's
I-
imagine these other people, right? I'm sorry for interrupting you there.
No, no.
What if this? What if the people that are in this apartment, as you said, they're good, they have a good life, but then another company buys them and trades them, and they have to move in another place. They don't get to decide for their own. Again, they don't have
Okay.
autonomy. Would that be okay to do that to them?
No, that's the thing. I think once you give up your freedom, everything will go towards because they can do anything they want
Exactly.
with you. So I think you shouldn't ever give up your freedom. I know that there are some people that don't have another choice, so they just do it. But of course, it's not a good thing to.
Would it be any different if these individuals, these people, would be intellectually challenged? Like they wouldn't understand that their freedom is taken away from them?
of course not. I mean,
They are taking advantage of them.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not-
Okay, so then let's come back to animals. In an example where we do the exact same thing in animal agriculture, where it is that we take animals, we put them in confined, well, not even confined spaces, but we take away their autonomy for them, and we use them for whatever it is that we want. We trade them even between farms and whatever, and when we can no longer use them, we kill them. Do you think that's fair to do to animals?
No, of course not.
I mean, it's not fair, but animals do that to other animals as well. I think
Okay,
that's
so
part
we
of
come
life.
back to this argument, yeah. So, but you know, like, do you think we can?
I think there are different concepts. Like it's not fair, but also we need meat. So it's like
We
and
don't.
yeah, other
not,
animals.
not for survival or health. We don't need any meat.
We need some nutrients from meat.
Do you know any nutrients that you can't get from plants that you only get from meat?
Proteins.
Yeah, protein.
Plants don't have protein.
I mean, all plants have all
Fish,
essential amino
has
acids. Yeah, all protein.
B3, creo, ¿no?
Sí,
O
B3.
B12.
Fish, yeah.
Yeah, well,
also.
so B12, by the way, is an interesting one. Indeed, B12 you get from animal products, but B12 is not something that it's not a vitamin that animals produce themselves. It's a vitamin that it's from a bacteria. Only a bacteria produces B12, and animals actually used to eat. Ruminants used to eat from the ground, and they would get the B12 bacteria. But we kind of fucked up the ground as humans, so nowadays there isn't enough B12. So animals are actually given a supplement. So really, when you're getting B12 from animal products, you're getting a second-hand supplement.
Yes.
But also it's kind of the natural way of life because otherwise it will be overproduction of like over como no sé cómo se dice en plan
Yeah,
overproduction
there would
of
be too many
Too many animals, yeah.
Yeah, but all these animals are brought to life for the sole purpose of being exploited and killed, right? So when we choose to no longer participate in that, animals are no longer brought to life for the sole purpose of being exploited and killed.
Yeah,
So there wouldn't be a overpopulation of animals.
yeah.
But you mentioned wild animals killing each other. You know, like, do you think we can derive our morals from what other animals do or what happens in nature?
I mean, no, but I don't think that we should feel guilty because I think that it's the way of life, how life goes.
But-
like,
Let me draw you this example. So you say lions do it, so therefore we should not feel guilty about it, right? But lions, you know, when they want to take over a pride, they kill all the cubs in order to mate with the females faster. If a human being, if I go around killing all the children of my friends in order to have sex with their
Yes.
girlfriends, would that be something that I should feel guilty about or not?
of course
Yeah.
not.
No.
But I think that
Yeah, I think she means that. Of course, I should feel guilty. That's what you mean, right?
yes,
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, like I think you're vegetarian or vegan, right?
I'm vegan. Yeah.
And you're vegan. And I think that like when you talk about this topic, you say that like it's something like wrong or bad. But what I mean is that it's something that it's like nature is what has always happened. Not before we were alive. Animals before they
Which part of
ate meat,
which
for
part of
example.
what we do is natural? Because we go into a supermarket, we pick a product that's packaged in plastic of an animal we never saw their eyes of a part of an animal, the part of their muscle. We put that in a pan. We heat it up with the gas that gets transferred from pipes that go thousands of miles apart. Like, what part of this is natural?
But for example, when
Animals
we live
eating
in
each
caves,
other is the
but
natural
when we live
thing
in
that-
caves, for example, like, ¿cómo se llama? Los antepasados, los gorilas que viven en las cuevas. Like
La-
cavernícolas. Cavernicals? Like the like when we were transitioning from monkeys to humans, they will go out, they will find their prey. Um, Women will just take those animals, cut the meat, and heat it up, and they will eat it. Like right now, it's more like plastic, everything more like packaged. But before it was something similar, just not in package, but the whole animal they
But let
will
me
put
ask you
in the
this,
fire.
because when it comes to nature, right? When it comes to natural, before women had rights, before there was women
I was gonna
emancipation,
say that.
wasn't there a consensus that that's the natural way of order because men have to do the work and women they come home and women they cook and all that stuff. Would you say that was ever something that we should have strived to just because we saw it as natural? I don't think it matters, right?
I was gonna say that like the fact that it is natural, I don't think is a good argument because
Exactly.
as you said, like we used to be like there used to be so much sexism in society, and that is not a good thing. There are many things that used to be traditional but are not good, so that's like not the argument.
Exactly.
But I will go.
I love that
for
you get the guy there on the
I will go for the maybe like a nutrients part, as I said, because I think that like we are both like really healthy, so I think like we like to get nutrients. Like I think if you live a vegan or vegetarian life, you need to take like many supplements. So I don't think
No,
that
just the
is-
same supplements you would be getting, as I said, from animal products otherwise. But let me put it this way: if you were to find a way to thrive, to be extremely healthy, like as healthy as you can be on a plant-based diet, what would hold you back from not exploiting animals? Because you agree it's wrong to use these sentient beings to keep them to do whatever we want to them and to kill them because we can, right? So if you were to find out that you can be just as healthy, thrive even on that, what would there be? Would there be any other issues? Why would not?
like I still think you wouldn't be as healthy. But maybe the flavor also because we are from Spain, we really like the flavor of meat. But also I think that yeah, overpopulation of animals will be a problem.
But the population of animals wouldn't be a problem, as I said, because like
yeah, they wouldn't
they wouldn't be brought to existence. Yeah.
But even though I think there will still be overpopulation.
How could there be an overpopulation? Because the only reason why these animals are brought to life is because people pay for them to be brought to life so that they get killed.
I mean, they are brought to life because they reproduce and they.
No,
like,
they don't.
not all of
Do you
them-
think animals in animal agriculture reproduce on their own?
Not in animal agriculture, but in animal life.
Yeah, but animal agriculture is what I'm talking about, right? So in
Okay,
you pay for animal agriculture, you don't pay for wild animals or whatever, right?
Yeah.
When you pay for animal agriculture, you pay for human beings to literally reproduce. Like let me just put it this way because you probably don't know. Do you know what happens to dairy cows, the cows that produce milk?
The what? The what?
The cows that produce milk, the dairy cows. Do you know why cows produce milk?
Like stress and
Yeah, like what's the reason why cows produce milk?
that they are really stressed in little farms and
No, so the reason why cows produce milk is because they're mammals, so they have to have babies,
Yes.
just like us. Women produce milk when they have babies, right?
Yes.
It's the same for cows. They only produce milk when they have babies, so they cannot produce milk unless they have babies. So farmers don't wait for them to decide to have babies, but rather they forcefully impregnate them. The procedure goes like somebody puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and then they inject bull semen in their vagina, or they use a dildo where they put the bull sperm on the dildo and they insert it in their vagina. You can check that out online on farms' Instagrams, sadly so. And after 9 months, when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They just grow.
What do you think?
no, they kill them. No?
Well, the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mothers so that they don't drink the milk because we need to control how much milk they drink. So they never see their mothers again, or if they do, they're always at a distance. If they're born male, yes, they get killed, as you said, because they're useless to the industry. They don't produce any milk. If they're born female, year over year forceful impregnation, just like their mothers, having their babies taken from them year over year. And after 6 to 8 years, when the farmers can no longer impregnate them with ease, they get killed. And that's they can live up to 25 years, so that's like at a quarter of their lifespan. Is that something that you want to be part of?
But do you think that happens everywhere?
Everywhere. I saw it in my grandma's backyard. and I'm from Romania, and she did agriculture, subsistence agriculture, and she did a form of this, of course, right? Like, for example, she took away the baby, and from time to time she would let the baby drink some of the milk and then use a broom and to switch them away. She didn't kill the baby, but she would sell it to somebody who would kill them and then get the meat. So there's always a form of this, but in essence, that's what it is everywhere, yeah.
But I don't know, maybe your grandma had that habit. Maybe it's not everywhere.
No, it's
that
standard
happens
practice. You
that.
can even look it up on the, like, you know, every country has dairy association or something like that, and they describe all of these procedures. You don't have to trust me. Like, you can see them even, like I saw it in Netherlands. You can see them in Spain. These are procedures that are described in documents of what they do and everything. So.
I mean, yeah, I know that there's a lot of cruelty in the animal world, and now that you say like that, it sounds really cruel that we are eating meat. I think that it's just tradition, and we don't really stop to think about the fact that we are eating meat.
But should we let tradition dictate all these things, given that
No, of course not. But
they're pretty immoral, aren't they? Like doing this to a being who can sense, who has emotions, who wants to have relations with other beings of their species, kind of like what we do. Beings who think. You know, there's videos online. They throw a ball to a cow and they bring it back. They're very much like dogs, like cats. And I'm sure you have been with a dog and a cat, and you have seen that they show emotions. They're just like us in all the ways that matters. Maybe they're not as intelligent as us, but I don't think intelligence should be something that we start killing for.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Like I've been in farms, and I haven't ever seen something like that.
But you've
So-
been
but of course-
on one day for one period,
No, I've
right?
been for like a year. Like I was in a family in Ireland, and they have a really big farm with cows, with
So you lived for 1 year in Ireland on a farm.
yeah,
Was it a dairy
in
farm?
family. Yes, it was like yes, mostly dairy, and cows were with their like babies. They were all together.
How many males did you see on the farm?
Like to be honest, I don't know which were males, which were females, but I know that there were a lot of babies. They were with their moms, and they were all very well treated. So that's why I told you. I don't know if it's something that
Listen,
happens
you don't have to
everywhere.
trust me. Just it does happen everywhere. I also I thought the same. The first thing that I did was denial, and I said there's no way it's happening. And in
Yeah.
Netherlands, especially, you go outside of Amsterdam, you just go on a quick bike ride, and you see plenty of cows there. But one thing you will notice: every farm, there's only females there. Why is there only females? What happens to the males? It's because they get killed. Okay, well, all these females, why are they all? Yeah, okay, some farms they let them with the child. But that's just such a small thing of all of it, isn't it? They still kill the babies. They still forcefully impregnate them. They still do all this other fucked up shit. Like the minute animals are no longer useful to them, they kill them because it would be too expensive to keep them alive. You know, so nobody would want that to happen to them, would they?
I think that we have different opinions because you support something and I support something else. So we will.
Well,
be
where's our
like-
difference in opinion?
Because I support I like when there's farms that are cruel to animals. Of course, I don't think that's something to support.
What I just said, is it cruel?
Yes, it's cruel.
So how do you know that any product that you buy in the supermarket is not this? Because this is the standard practice again.
I mean, I don't buy in supermarkets because I think that most supermarkets.
So you don't buy cheese.
No, but I buy from like local places that I know they are.
Local places are
controlled.
still the farms who do the same thing. Have you seen how they forcefully impregnate the cows?
The thing is that I've been in farms where those things doesn't
I don't.
happen.
I don't think that's true. I think you're lying.
I'm not lying. You don't have to trust me, like you told me. I don't
Yeah.
have to trust you. You don't have to trust me. We have different opinions, and.
But
it's
you
just
see,
like that.
my data is not based on anecdotes, what I say or what I do. You can look up everything I said online
But
right
online,
now.
you're
right?
saying Google. Google is not.
Yeah.
it's
Well, the
not
minute we start doubting the
something-
information that we find online, the minute we start doubting studies, is the minute we start doubting science. And if you doubt science, I'm sorry for you, but it's not really like.
I don't
if
doubt
you-
science because I love science and I study science. But I think that you don't have only to trust what you see online. You also have to see by yourself, and
I
you
have seen it by myself.
But you have seen
First
your
of all,
grandmother.
I have seen it. No, I've seen it on farms. I've seen it by myself, and again, it's a procedure that's described on dairy farms. You can look up farms on Instagram and see exactly how they forcefully impregnate cows. And still, there's still animals who are treated as properties, and they're still killed, regardless if everything else was nice and neat. They still get killed when they can no longer produce milk. Would you
Yes.
like that to happen to you?
But I mean, sometimes I also think that they treat well animals, and I don't know. Also, there
Were
are
you
many
treated well
people-
your whole life so far?
What?
Were you treated well so far your whole
Yes.
life? Would it be okay for somebody to kill you because
Of course not.
you're no longer productive to them?
Of course not, but I think it's different. Because
What's
animals,
the difference? Why is your life more important than an animal?
is not
To,
more
to their
important.
life is just as important to them as your life is important to you.
of course, I think both lives are important. But I think that, for example, in Spain, when we talk about bulls, I don't support bullfight or.
What's the
stuff.
difference between bullfighting and dairy? What's the difference? They both of them are products of something you don't need. They're both for pleasure, and they're both
They are not for
extremely
pleasure.
cruel.
They
What do
are
you
not
mean?
pleasure.
Don't tell me it's nutrition because nutrition you can get from
It's
plants.
nutrition. No, I don't agree with that. And also bullfight is.
But you don't have to
is
believe that.
just
That's
for
against
pleasure.
science.
But like in
Bullfighter,
farms,
for
it's for
example,
eating them,
yes.
for making people eat. And,
But when you can get your nutrition, all the nutrition that you need from plants and plant-based products, the sole differentiator for you choosing an animal-based product is based on taste pleasure, which is a sensory pleasure. So when you choose based on a sensory pleasure, there's no difference for you choosing for entertainment or for pleasure to be cruel to an animal, for
but
something
I
that you
haven't
don't
heard
need.
any expert recommending a plant-based diet.
You don't have to hear an expert recommending a plant-based diet because the reality is they don't recommend a plant-based diet. What they say is that a plant-based diet is suitable for all ages and stages of life. That means you can thrive on a plant-based diet. There's plenty of athletes everywhere. I'm studying to be a certified nutritionist, and I can tell you for a fact the first thing I learned is that you don't need any animal products. Number two, and number three, it's there's there's over 100 studies showing that we don't need animal-based products. Like we just need nutrition. So how can we ever morally justify doing this sort of shit to animals when we don't need to?
I haven't ever heard a nutritious person saying that you don't have to eat meat or fish. Like
Talk
they
to a
always
nutritionist.
recommend- Not nutritionists saying that.
What do you mean on nutrition? All the largest organization of nutritionists on the planet, who has thousands of nutritionists on it, is nowhere near a vegan or vegetarian organization. They're called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They say that a plant-based diet is suitable for all ages and stages of life, and they base that on studies. You can see all the studies that they're based it on.
Maybe it's suitable, but it's not recommended.
But suitable means you can get all the health that you need. This is the science jargon, right? You don't. They don't tell you. They don't say recommend because currently it's still a choice whether we want to exploit or not animals. But that's what I'm saying. You see what I mean? Like, you can thrive on a plant-based diet. Hence why so many athletes are on a plant-based diet. Hell, I think in the future, teams who will choose a plant-based diet will actually have an advantage over everybody else because it does help with endurance. But regardless, like, how can we morally justify killing animals for something we don't actually need? Like, just because you're unaware of it. I understand that. What you did in the past was what happened in the past. But how can you justify it going forward?
I mean, maybe we cannot justify it, and it's a bad thing to do, but I will be a hypocrite if I told you now that I'm not gonna still be eating meat, even though, yes.
And are you proud of that? I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm not proud. I mean,
I think
yeah.
it's just based on
Yeah, I
our
think-
culture and our
yeah,
diet.
I don't think.
But you know,
it's-
culturally, there's places in this world where they do female genital mutilation. Just because it's cultural doesn't mean it's
No,
right.
I don't think the reason is that it's culture, but like, yeah, as I said, I believe that the right diet to follow is that, and I think that, as I said, like there will be also.
But if I believe that the right diet for me is to kill humans and eat them, does that make it right? No. It doesn't matter what my beliefs are. What matters is what science
these are
says.
not my beliefs. They are the beliefs of
But these are your beliefs because nutritional and dietitians all over the world, you can look it up, all the nutritional dietetics, most of the, I don't even know if all because I haven't looked at all, right? So I can't make an empirical statement saying that all of them are that way. But I can tell you that most of the nutritional and dietetic associations around the world agree that a plant-based diet is suitable.
You can follow a plant-based, but then you need to take nutrients from like pastillas.
Yeah, so
Like
what's so
pills.
bad about
Like
that?
pills.
So what's so bad about that?
So I think that's artificial and that's not good to do. I don't.
But we
wanna-
just
I don't wanna
established,
eat
you
that
just
way.
established that natural means nothing.
That natural means
It
what?
doesn't mean anything. That whether something is natural or not, it means nothing. You know, that's actually a logical
No,
fallacy.
I meant traditional. That the fact that we've been doing that doesn't mean anything. But the fact that you need to take like chemicals. Like
It's not
eat
chemicals, you know.
chemicals is-
Everything is chemicals, by the way, right? Like all
Well,
food is
yeah,
chemicals
yeah,
at the
you
end of
put
the day.
chemicals on food,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but like.
Yeah, but you know, chemophobia, which is irrational fear of chemicals, is not something we should encourage. appeal to nature, which is not something we should encourage by thinking that if something is natural, it's automatically healthy. It's not, right? Like
I don't wanna like be eating pills.
you don't have to be
Every day,
eating
every
pills.
day.
There's only one vitamin that you need, and that is B12. That's only one. And as I said, animals take that themselves. So you're really just taking the same pill, but secondhand from an animal.
I think that we will be like talking endlessly. Like we are not going to think like you, and you're not going to think like us.
So you think it's okay to exploit and abuse animals?
I don't think it's okay, but I think there's a difference.
So why don't you think then that you have an obligation to look into it and do the best that you can? Why is it that you think that, oh, well, I'll just go with my own beliefs
I'm gonna look
and
into
go
it
forward?
as soon as I arrive home, and no, I'm gonna take it because I'm pretty sure that you need meat and you need some vitamins from.
I appreciate you being honest with me, and I hope you do that. I really do hope. I'll just give you a card to help you out. You have a starting point, and I urge you to watch Dominion to see what you're actually paying for. Just FYI, just don't trust me. You know, start there and look up, do your own. I'm a firm believer that we all should do our own investigations and reach a point ourselves. I'm just here to try and get you there, but you got to do that on your own. I can't police you any further. Just please be open-minded when it comes to this, and don't go for what I want to believe. Go for what is true, because if you think that it's wrong to abuse animals and you see it as a necessary evil and you've realized that it's no longer necessary, then perhaps you should not do it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for having this
Bye.
conversation
Thank
with me,
you.
and have a good one. I hope you look
Bye.
into it. There you go. Johnny Vegan Seed, hello. Chip, instead of arguing nutrition, say if I can prove it to your satisfaction, would it be wrong? Prove it to your satisfaction, would it be wrong? Wait, I don't know what that means. If I can prove it to your satisfaction. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what that means. B12 also comes in sprays. That's a very good point. Yeah, B12 does come in sprays also. That combo went off the rails. I think it was okay. You know, they had some certain concerns, and I don't like to not address concerns. I think it's important that we address all these concerns. You know, they're concerns that a lot of people have actually in reality. So it's important that we address them. Good luck appealing to my emotions. I actually have a farm. I'm not an activist, so I know what the realities of life are. Woodworking Gunny Bear. Thank you. You say you have a farm. What do you farm? Or sorry, I'm sorry. Who do you farm? What if there was scientific evidence that in the long term we get nutrient deficiency without animal-derived products? I'm not saying there is, but what if there came out scientific evidence? Listen, Claudius Busser, if the scientific evidence to provide that you cannot be healthy on a plant-based diet, I would not endorse it, of course, right? I'm not here to tell you to die or to be malnourished. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to, the sole reason why I'm here is because we can thrive on a plant-based diet, because we have options. That's the whole point, right? I'm not here to get people to die or something. So if there were such a evidence that was high quality evidence, of course, not like, I don't know, peer-reviewed, randomized control trials, whatever it is, replicated studies, stuff like that. Like if we have a good enough established evidence and dietitians and nutritional organizations approving of it, then yeah, sure. I couldn't go here and say what I say to people. But even in that scenario, even if you do think you need animal products, you still don't need to eat animal products at every meal, every day, every single time. So even in that scenario, it would still not make sense, okay? And even in the scenario where it would not be healthy. I'm just curious like this, right? If it would not be healthy, just being devil's advocate, morally speaking, you can't justify killing somebody else for your own, for something that, for your own health. Can you? Like, how can you, could I morally justify killing people on the street because it makes me healthier? I couldn't, can I? So how could I do that to animals? It's the same. You want to have a conversation with me? I saw you watching and listening. Well, I guess you heard a lot of what I was talking about, huh? Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel? What's your name?
My name is Ian.
So what do you think about what I was saying, Ian? I'm Chip.
How?
I'm Chip.
Chip.
Yeah. What do you think about what I was saying?
To me, it sounds as if you've done a lot of research.
Yeah.
I know that I don't know how you do research, but I know that whenever you go online, um, it's important to have a sense of direction and value and purpose.
Yeah.
And I have found within myself, also on my journey, that whenever I find something very important, I try to seek evidence and sources that confirm that. And I've come to learn that truth is not universal, and
It's not. Yeah.
it's,
Well, truth is by theory universal, but not. I wouldn't say what we have scientific evidence for is always necessary the truth, right? Because truth is universal by definition.
yeah. Also, science to me is not the definite kind of. I think science has become some sort of religion where it has the unanimous kind of definite.
It's not. It's not like the only thing about science is that there's a scientific methodology where there's several scientific methodologies that they improve over years, right? So if you were to go back 50 years ago, the scientific methodology was different than it is today. It was improved today just because we realized there's issues in studies. And we try to make it better. We try to solve those issues so that the studies are more reliable. But yeah, that's why in science we don't say one thing is like this or like that. We say it's high confidence of this or low confidence of that. But how do you feel about animals? Because that's why I'm here. I'm speaking on behalf of animals' rights, right? So there is plenty of evidence out there that we can thrive on a plant-based diet. So how can we ever morally justify killing animals for something that we don't need?
How can we morally justify that?
Yeah. Like how can we that basically means how can we say that it's okay to kill animals when we don't need to do it? It's okay to enslave them, to exploit them, all of it, because it's not just about the killing.
Yeah, I think enslaving animals and mistreating animals is not right. I think there are also ways of treating animals that include slaughtering and killing and eating animals as a natural process of life, because life cannot exist
Is
without
is
death.
killing a natural process of life?
I think we all have an imprint with everything that we do, even if we were to make vegetables or grains. For
Yeah. Some animals die in all sorts of production, right? Like house production. When we build roads, we kill some animals. But should that mean that we can go around killing animals as we please just because some animals die in all of these productions?
I don't know. I mean, I've been a vegetarian, a vegan. I heard you speak a lot about nutrition, etc. I tried it myself. For
I
3 years.
don't like speaking about nutrition per se. I speak sometimes when it's needed, but I don't. I usually just like to talk about animal rights because I think.
But then for me, it seems like you have a very solid point. Like you're protecting the animals. Right?
Yeah, that's
Their
what I
rights.
want. Yeah.
But then you're backing that up with facts that are not necessarily, as I have come to learn myself, as good of a foundation to add to just your very strong point of we shouldn't mistreat animals. And it is true that it
We
is.
shouldn't exploit them, by the way, not mistreat them. I don't care if somebody treats animals nicely, as long as they exploit them or use them as resources. I think it's wrong. Just like I wouldn't want for any human being, right? Like I wouldn't use any human being as a resource. I wouldn't use an animal as a resource. So it's not just about the killing. It's not about the treatment of them. It's strictly about not using them as resources.
And what do you think about the earth?
Yeah. About like the planet, you mean?
Yeah.
What about it?
How do you feel like, because you have a big empathy for living creatures?
I do, yeah.
How do you feel about the earth and potentially mistreating the earth?
But Earth is not a living creature, is it? It's just a planet.
Well, that is where I think I differentiate in my values.
Well, does Earth has any signs that it would be living? Or do you mean like the fauna? Well, what do you mean, like the whole Earth's fauna? Do you mean like the flora and the fauna of Earth? What do you mean when you say that Earth is a living being? Do you think Mars is a living being?
No, I'm not saying that it's a living being. I just mean that it's also. I just ask you: how are you approaching the Earth as an entity itself? About mistreating it, using it? Because as you now react to me, it seems as if you're. Just objectifying, like it's just an object, right? The Earth. We can
Earth is
use
just
it,
an object,
we're
yeah.
Standing on it. Yeah. Okay.
It's just a planet, but regardless, I still think it's wrong to destroy our planet, right? I'm also an environmentalist, so but I don't speak about that necessarily because I speak about animal rights right now. But I think it's wrong to be a dick to the environment. Just well, not just as much, but it's wrong, yeah. Yeah, like we only have one planet, unfortunately, right? So. Whenever you mistreat the planet, you're basically creating a worse future for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. When you throw something outside, you throw it inside, because it's all an ecosystem, and we're polluting ourselves in that way. How do you feel about organic food?
I mean, when it comes to animal products, organic food means nothing per se. It's still exploitation and slaughter and abuse. Usually organic is just a label for consumers, just like free range. They just, in fact, the label itself was made by the government, but it wasn't made for the animals per se. It was made for the consumers to feel like they're eating something healthy. And yes, there are some stipulations in the certification of organic, whether it's in Europe or US or whatever it is. I don't know about other countries. I know about Europe and US. That stipulates that animals need to have a certain amount of space or whatever, but that's it. Nothing more. Like, theoretically, everything else still applies, what we do to animals.
I would say look into biodynamic, because biodynamic seems to be the thing that you're looking for. Because
is it still exploiting animals?
it is not exploiting animals. It is putting the animals in the right place where they need to be to enhance the ecosystem of that specific place, until death is a natural part of the process of life. And the relationship that farmers have with these animals.
They still kill them.
Well, but is that something within you that is painful?
Do you think it's
then?
wrong to kill?
Do I think it's wrong to kill?
To kill. I'm not talking about death. Death is natural, as you say. An animal dying is nothing. You dying is nothing. It's all part of your life. But killing is not part of life, is it? Killing is a different thing. Killing is intentionally taking somebody's life.
But if you're taking a plant, you're also killing something. You're destroying it. You're taking it.
Fair enough. And maybe we shouldn't be killing plants also. But then shouldn't we minimize the amount of plants we kill? And I have a good argument for plants and the difference between plants and animals. But before I go there, when we kill animals, we kill also all the plants that they kill to eat, that they eat, which is monumentally more than we do. So, but either way, the sole difference between killing a plant and killing an animal is sentience, the capability to feel that they're exploited, the capability to feel, to suffer. It's not something plants have. That's, as far as we know so far, it's a property of brains. It's an emerging property of brains, and only we have brains. Not only we, as in only animals have brains. We as in animals, not we as in humans.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I would say the reason why it's wrong to harm you, right? It would be wrong for me to, and just FYI, I have no urge to do so. But if I would want to punch you, right? It would be wrong for me to punch you because you would feel the consequences of me punching you. It would be wrong for me to take your life because you would feel the consequences of me taking your life. It's called sentience. You feel all this. That's why it's wrong to do so to you. That's why it's wrong to do to me. It's not there's no other special reason other than that. If I were to not be sentient, it's not wrong to destroy a computer because a computer is not sentient. It's not wrong to walk on the grass because the grass is not sentient. I still think we should take care of nature, of course. I still think we shouldn't be going around cutting plants and cutting trees however we want, but that's for different reasons. It's not because of them individually. They're not individuals like animals are.
Yeah. I think that humans are supposed to be caretakers of the earth.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
And
also.
being caretakers of the earth also has a big part to do of being in harmony with animals and being in harmony with nature. And we have a massive potential with the knowledge that we have to enhance the quality of the earth with all the living creatures that are living on it.
Is that your belief system?
What?
Is that your belief system?
I don't have a system.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just questioning because, you know, when we buy animal products, when we pay farming, you go against all of this. You go against all of it because we're not in communion with animals. None of these animals want to die, by the way. If you have not seen videos of them being killed, it's absolutely horrific. All of them.
But this
screaming.
doesn't go for all animals that are being killed. There are also different type of sources where you can get
All animals that we farm in animal agriculture
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be forcefully impregnated. All animals in farm agriculture don't want to be killed. All of them don't want to be used like objects. Just because we cannot communicate with them and them communicate to us that they don't want any of it doesn't mean that they don't. We a lot of the times we see the signs but we neglect them, right? When we put an animal in a cage, they want to set free. They want to be free, but a lot of the times we think we're doing good by them because we put them in a cage and we give them food. But if I were to put you in a cage and give you food, would that be okay for you?
I think I'm living in a cage in the city, man.
But
And
you
I'm-
still have
I'm being
autonomy. You
given-
still decide for yourself.
I don't know. I cannot really get rid of any of my taxes or anything.
No, but you
nonsense like that.
decided to stop and talk to me here. You decide you can go and decide to do whatever you want. You have
Yeah, but
free
the
will.
animals can also decide to turn around and turn their ass around in the cage. I feel the same here.
No,
honestly.
no, they cannot. If that goes against what the farmer wants, they cannot. And in fact, you know what?
But
Pigs.
during Corona, also the farmer was the government, and
And
I
if-
couldn't move around too.
So are you saying that you are the same as a farm animal right now? Your situation is the same.
I think it's the same kind of relationship that there is.
Are you killed when you're no longer productive? Does somebody decide for you everything that you do your whole day?
I'm a street musician, so I choose what I do during my day.
So you do make decisions for yourself. Animals don't make decisions for themselves because farmers don't let them make decisions for themselves.
It would be nice if an animal can play some music.
Well, you know, when you play music to an animal, they're very curious and they like to listen and stay there.
know.
Yeah. So they're very much like us in all the ways that matter. I don't know if you can play music, but not every human being can play music.
No,
So-
I can play music.
Yeah, but not every human being can play music,
Yeah.
right? So if they can't play music, we shouldn't be enslaving them and killing them, right? Well, let me just put it this way. What is the difference? Because I'm assuming you would be wrong you would be against farming humans, and you seem to be okay with farming animals. So I'm curious, what is the difference between humans and animals that makes it okay to farm one but not the other?
Very good question. I say I'm not. I haven't said actually that I'm against farming animals.
No, you haven't. That's what I said. I said you're against farming humans, I assumed. Are you against farming humans?
No, yes, I'm against farming humans, and that is something that's still happening, and that I cannot do.
No, but you're against it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm against it. I'm trying to make a better world. Yeah.
So if you're against farming humans, I come back. I would assume, I don't know what your position on farming animals is, but I'm assuming since you said you're a vegetarian, you support some form of animal farming, so that means you are not against it. So then I ask you, what is the morally significant difference between an animal and a human that justifies farming one but not the other? In your own view, what is it that you think makes it so different? Let me ask you this way. What is it that an animal doesn't have that if a human also didn't have it, it would be okay to farm them?
Well, again, it's about because you're mixing a lot of things together in a one big soup of arguments. Because farming is something different than mistreating them, than impregnating them with stuff, antibiotics, pills, and slaughtering them.
Whatever you understand by farming, you said you're against farming of human. Whatever your
You're
definition of farming
globalizing
is,
it.
whatever your
'Cause you're
definition of
taking
farming
it
is.
as your definition. And
Nope,
when I say
locally. I don't care. Whatever your definition of farming is, wherever you want it to be, you said you're against farming humans, but you're okay with farming animals. So I'm asking you, what is the difference between a human and an animal that makes it okay to farm one but not the other?
okay, but these are two different types of
Whatever your
farming.
definitions are of farming.
And I will explain now what my definition is. So, farming humans as it is happening right now is happening in the same way that farming animals in the way that you are arguing.
Where are humans farmed anyway? That you say the humans are farmed right now. Where are humans forcefully impregnated to have babies?
Wait, you don't let me finish my sentence.
You said farming humans happens right now. I need to understand where humans are farmed right now.
I don't feel like you're listening to me. I just feel like you want to make a point.
That's what you said. What is it that I didn't say?
But I feel like you're not here. I feel like you're here.
Okay, go on with your point. Otherwise, if you're gonna, I also feel like you don't listen to me because I asked you the same question 3 times and you were incapable of answering it. But I'm asking you yet again. Farming animals, okay, the same way we farm animals, I would assume it's wrong to farm humans. However you see farm animals, whatever your definition of farming animals is, if we were to replace the animals with humans, would you think it's wrong?
But if I answer now your question, then you're just gonna frame me in a way that is negative. Because if I say yes right now and you have no idea because you didn't listen to me what farming animals to me means, you're gonna project your vision of what farming animals means, and
It doesn't matter. Do you understand? Logically, it doesn't matter.
I don't understand how it's
Whatever your logical definition of farming is, insert replace the animal with human and tell me if that is moral to you.
Again, if I answer that question, I feel like you're just trying to make a point, and I feel like we're not.
Yeah,
really
the point
having
is
a
that there's no
conversation.
difference between animals and humans that justifies the difference in treatment.
You believe that you are very right about the things that you are talking.
Well, you can't seem to answer the question, what is the morally significant difference between an animal and a human that justifies the difference in treatment? So therefore, yes, I must be right. If you can't answer this question, then there may be no difference.
The things that you're saying are totally going next to me. I don't feel really like we're talking to each other, honestly.
Because you want to make a point, right? Well, what is your point that you're trying to make? That farming animals can somehow seen as good, right? That's what the point that you're trying to make. Because you want to feel good about the choices that you're making. Because you are supporting farming of animals. But then all I'm saying, the farming that you're supporting of animals, I don't even care what it is. Whatever in your image is, whatever in your head, when you think farming of animals, when you think I do this action to an animal, I do this other action to an animal, this animal does this. Replace the animal with a human, who's anyway also an animal. And I ask you, would that be moral in your worldview to do that to a human being?
Of course not.
Of course not. So then what is the difference between a human being and an animal that says it's immoral for one but moral for the other?
Death is a natural process of life that's very important to understand, to stand with 2 feet on the ground.
What does
in
death
this
have to
world.
do with any of it?
With farming? You mean? With eating
What
animals?
does death have to do with the question I just asked? If you replace the farm animal with a human, why is that immoral? But when it's a farm animal, it's moral.
Because I think that it is important for a human also to have nutrition from animal products, and I have come to learn that by being a vegan for 4 years myself.
So you cannot answer this question. I asked it again. I asked it 3 times. I don't think that there's any point in continuing the conversation because I kept asking you exactly the same question. What is the difference between a human and an animal that justifies farming one but not the other? And you keep saying the reasons why you do it.
Because it's...
And I'm not interested in the reasons why you do it because you know what? I've heard them all. I literally have heard absolutely all the reasons. And all of them, they come to exactly the same place. I do it because I'm either misinformed or I do it because I'm selfish. Either way, one or the other. There's no other source. If you
do
think
you eat organic food?
I eat some organic food.
Do you know what the impact of monoculture and not organic food is on the world, on animals and planets and your own body?
There you go. So you have a problem with monoculture. Then you should definitely be vegan because you know what? Most of monoculture is grown for feed for animals.
Not if you eat biodynamic food.
Not if you eat biodynamic food. No, we're going in circles. So
and I'm just talking for myself. I'm not talking about other people.
No, you're just trying to idealize something that is definitely not ideal. You're trying to find situations where, I'm doing something good. You know what? If I were to kill half of the human population, it would be great for the environment, would it not? Would it not be better for the environment, for the planet, if half the population would be gone instantly?
How can you make that kind of
Would it not be good for the planet?
imaginations?
I'm just curious, would it be good or not for the planet?
Where does that kind of thinking come from?
I've been doing this for a while, that's why. But you can't argue that it would not be good for the planet, for the environment to kill half the population. But that's not something we should be doing. So it doesn't matter. It's immoral to do so. It's about morality. And you can't possibly you can't possibly answer what is the difference between an animal and another animal, which is a human, that makes farming one okay, but not farming the other not okay. You can't answer this question. And if you can't answer this question, then there's no reason for us to continue, because you will continue justifying your own doings without actually approaching the core issue. What is that difference that justifies treating them differently?
Do you know what a soul is? Do you believe in a soul?
I don't believe in a soul, but
Okay.
Are you religious?
I just have a conscious relationship with my own soul. And that's why.
So you believe in souls. So what makes you think you have a soul and an animal doesn't?
I cannot have that conversation with you because you have no awareness and you deny that.
Well, we all have consciousness. Animals have consciousness too. They have personalities. They have a will to live. They want to spend time with their loved ones. Just because you say, well, my definition is that a soul only belongs to a human being, that's highly,
I didn't say that. The only question I ask you is, do you believe in the soul?
I don't. No. Why
Okay.
would I? Why would I?
So
There's
you're
no.
projecting assumptions onto me because you've been talking to so many people that I don't believe in animals having a soul, that the soul is that, soul is
Well,
that.
the only
'Cause
reason
you're
why
not
I'm
talking
projecting
to me,
no, the
because
only
you're not
reason
talking to me.
The only reason
Because I
why I'm
didn't
making
say
this
anything.
assumption is because I asked you a question and you answered that question with another question. Do you believe in a soul? So my assumption is that you believe that the only difference between animals and humans is a soul. Is it the wrong assumption for me? Is it wrong for me to assume that when I ask you what's the difference, you start asking me, well, do you believe in a soul? That then it's for me. Is it wrong for me to assume that you think that the difference is a soul?
I think there's no such thing as right or wrong, but I think there's just an intelligent way to have a conversation or a way to jump ahead.
What is it that I can say to you that you stop exploiting or abusing animals today?
I'm not exploiting or abusing animals.
You are supporting exploitation and abuse of animals.
I'm not.
Are you buying dairy products?
Yeah, I'm buying
There you go.
organic.
Exploitation and abuse of animals. If you think biological or
But,
organic
brother,
is not exploiting or killing
Do you
animals,
buy
then you're sadly.
non-organic monoculture food? Are you exploiting animals and the Mother Earth as well?
Do you know what exploitation is?
It is the definition, as I could imagine it, is to create something and to take as much of it as possible before it's gone.
Is to treat somebody as a resource, right? That's what exploitation is to literally use them, to treat them as a resource. Yeah. So how am I treating animals as a resource when I'm eating plant-based products?
But that's a very scientific way of looking at it. So you look at, okay, if I make a plant and I do this to the plant, no animal is connected to that, so there's nothing wrong in relation to it with animals.
There's
But
a lot of wrong things happening in the world. Listen, man, animals get killed in the production of roads. Animals get killed in the production of houses. Animals get killed in the production of vegetables. It doesn't make it
I think
right for me to go
foundationally-
ahead and kill more
I
animals.
think foundationally we are on the same side here. I think
I doubt it, because I oppose animal exploitation. You don't. It's
what are
easy.
you afraid of, man?
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just against animal exploitation.
I understand that. I'm
Yeah.
also against animal exploitation.
Well, your actions don't say that, do they?
Do your actions do that? Say that.
It's okay. Have a nice life. I'm not interested in having this conversation anymore with you.
I wish you a lot of luck on your journey.
I hope you stop explaining animals. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes I need to stop. It was just going in circles, right? But I showed the absurdities, at least I tried to show all the absurdities of his statements, where they're not extremely absurd. That's what I'll keep doing. That's what I don't care. Letting go, cheap loser. Yeah, exactly. So my key operators today, yeah. Says a lot about your effort if you give up, says Evangelos Latro. Yeah, Evangelos, it's okay. I give up on some people, yeah, that's okay. And it's okay. You know, sometimes you gotta admit when you know you're not gonna get anything from somebody. Why would it's called the law of diminishing returns, is it not? But either way, I thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you, and yeah, it's. I'm a bit more logical today than any other day, it seems, and I'm enjoying it. So I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy showing the hypocrisy of his arguments. So people are beyond approach, says Martin. Yeah. One of the most frustrating people I have ever seen you talk to, says stop abusing animals, be vegan. Yeah, he was really frustrating because of his belief, you know. But yeah, he was gaslighting me at the end, so that's why I wanted to stop having a conversation with me. He was literally just gaslighting. But anyway, it is what it is. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Hey, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. As you see, I do these streams, and I sometimes do them spontaneously. So, yeah, if you want to know when I go live, subscribe and hit that notification bell. He's definitely top 5, says Benji. Sunny D says eating meat is holy. Sunny D, well, I believe personally my religion, and I believe in the flying spaghetti monster. And in my flying spaghetti monster religion, it says that human heads are meatballs and it's okay to kill them, to eat them. It's holy, actually. It's not just it's okay, that it's holy. So how do you justify that? Huh? Would it be okay for me to kill you and eat your head? My God, Marcos, Jesus Christ, Marcos, thank you so much. I dedicate myself to veganism. I love vegan activists. I'm 11 years vegan and I feel great, says Marcos. Marcos, that is amazing. 11 years vegan, that's amazing. And Jesus Christ, I fully appreciate you for the donation, man. Save your money. Don't donate to me. I'm good. I appreciate the donations, everybody, but don't, you know, save your money. Donate to sanctuaries. Don't donate to me, please. If you find like, I would use the money and donate to sanctuaries myself, but then we just pay Google halfway. So I recommend that instead of, especially like if you want to donate like a couple of euros here and there, that's fine. But such a large sum, I appreciate it, but you know, give it to a sanctuary next time. Yours are all, it's bad, you have no depth. They're objectively dumber than us, lesser, says an Arizona Ranger. Interesting, Arizona Ranger. So what you're saying is that just because they're dumber than us, it makes it okay to exploit and kill them, right? That's your argument. I wonder, what if we were to find a human being that's lesser intelligent, that is dumber than us, as you said, that's cognitively impaired in a way that their cognitive capabilities are the same as a farm animal. Would it be okay to kill them, to use them, to exploit them? Jason Archer says the thing is animals are used in tens of thousands of products. Yeah, sadly so. What is it that we can do, you know? It's like saying, like during slavery times, you know, we could say, well, slaves were used to produce all sorts of products. That doesn't make slavery okay, does it? Just because it's in a lot of products, just because it's widely spread doesn't mean it's moral, does it? Oh, Arizona Ranger replied. Still would be far smarter than a farm animal. Arizona Ranger, no. As I said, I equate the intelligence. I threw a hypothetical out there for you. The intelligence, the cognitive capabilities, everything, absolutely 100% everything would be exactly as a farm animal. Would it be okay to enslave, exploit, and kill those animals? By the way, Marcos, I still want to say thank you. I didn't mean to. I don't know. I still fully appreciate your donation. When we have no more food, definitely we'll be eating long pork, aka the other white meat. I don't know what that means. Also, we got the original protein to develop large brains from eating bone marrow. So Arizona Ranger, you still have yet to answer my hypotheticals. Why is that? Is it that you are not intelligent enough to respond to hypotheticals? Should I be able to exploit and kill you because I can answer hypotheticals? Or what exactly is it that hypotheticals, that you're not answering the hypothetical that I posed to you? I have to show you my support, says Marcos. Marcos, listen, I appreciate your support a lot. You don't have to. You really don't have to, but I appreciate your support. Arizona Ranger says they're bait. No, you know what? The whole purpose of hypotheticals is to test your moral consistency. Hey, you guys want to try a social experiment?
very fluent in English, but
That's okay. We can try. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
what's up, everyone?
Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? Nice. What's your name?
Bilal. Bilal.
Bilal. I'm Chip. How about you?
Chloe.
Chloe. Nice to meet you. Okay, so I'll turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
No, of course not.
Why not?
Because there are some like living beings, so we should treat them with some respect, even if we're not like the same human. I think human and animals are very different in very many aspects. But yeah, I think we should respect them.
We should respect them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. What is it about animals that makes them worthy of respect?
What is sorry?
What is it about animals that makes them worthy of respect?
I didn't understand yet.
Like, why should we respect animals?
Oh.
Because they are mind like us, I think.
Yeah, they think, right? They emote, they have emotions, right? They feel. Okay, nice. How would you define abuse?
Abuse can be in main time physical, I think, but also the way you talk. Sometimes with I see a lot this kind of thing with dogs, especially. But yeah, the way you treat them, even when they don't have food and like they demand it in the street, etc. I know because in Morocco, for example, I was seeing a lot of cats that need some food. I don't know.
Maybe when the animals are enfermés, I don't know.
Yeah, closed up.
Closed
like-
up
Yeah.
in an apartment without anyone in there, and they can go out.
So there is some form of physical or emotional harm, right? That's how I would define it personally. Where because you can scream at an animal and that's still abusive, right? You can kick an animal and that's still abusive. And as you said, you can keep them confined and that would still be abusive. Okay. So it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs. What about cows, chickens, pigs?
Yeah, I think it's the same. No?
I think it's the same, yeah.
It's still wrong to abuse them, right? Do you think that in animal agriculture there's some inherent abuse happening?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in every place, even when people say, yeah, we're doing things very respectfully, etc. Like we have seen a lot of documents right now
Yeah.
that prove that violence and disrespect about animals, even if you're not like you're not comment on dit d'accord?
You don't agree?
Yeah, you don't agree with the fact that some people don't want to eat animal because they think they're not capable of, and it's very respect. Like you have to respect it, but the way that some place where we kill animal, I don't know how to pronounce it in English.
Like slaughterhouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. So do you guys consume any animal products?
Yeah.
So do you think there's a contradiction there when you say that you're against animal abuse? You agree there's some form of animal abuse in animal products?
Mm-hmm.
Then can you really be against animal abuse if you support it, if you buy animal products?
It depends what product, I think, because if you buy some yogurt from a local producer with a very...
But don't they all go to slaughterhouses?
Sorry?
No, he's talking about. I think maybe more the chicken, the meat, etc. You eat, like the animal that you
I
eat.
talk about all of them, even local farms. They
okay.
still kill animals. They still use them as resources, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would still be abusive to kill them. It would still be abusive to do all these kind of practices on them. So
I think it depends the way you're doing it. Like for example, my family, we are Muslim.
Sorry, but seconds ago you just said it doesn't matter how some farms say that they respect animals the way they treat them. It's still abusive.
No. It's the way you treat them, but like as human beings and also as living beings, we are like a structure of different species that have sometimes some needs, even if it's not necessary for them. And
Well, need implies necessity, right? We can't have needs without necessity.
Oh, no. I think you can have some needs without necessity. For example, in our society, we are a lot doing all those things, especially, for example, social media, just by mimetism. So we are doing the thing because the other people next to us.
But that's
doing
not a
this.
need, right?
That's not a need, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like a cultural.
Do you think we need animal products?
I don't know.
If you were to find out that we don't need animal products, wouldn't you say then that there's a huge contradiction when you choose to buy animal products and you claim that you're against animal abuse?
Yeah, if we don't need it, yeah, I'll say it. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't need it, it's normal.
Yeah, yeah. So, wait. You said that if we don't need it, it's normal.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
I mean that if we don't need to eat some animals for many reasons, we don't have any reason to kill them.
Exactly, exactly. So, would you be surprised to find out that we don't need animal products to survive and to thrive?
I don't know.
We don't. We don't need. We can thrive on a plant-based diet. We don't. For food, like if I ask you, do you think we need to kill animals for clothing?
No, I don't
No, because we have alternatives. Don't you think we have alternatives also for for food?
Yes. I think today yes, but maybe in some place of the world, some people will live in tribu or something like that, live with the animal and use them for food and for clothing because it's a way to live, and I think it's really okay.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to speak on what other people in other worlds do. I know I speak to you because you guys are
Like
working in
European,
Amsterdam.
yeah.
You're European. You probably have access to all of the alternatives, right? So, whatever other people can do is different. But what we know is that you can choose to not put animals in these places.
Well, I think the other question is also to think about you have the ethic aspect and you have also the ecological aspect that is very important. And we see today we come from France,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of politics that talk about agreement between Mercosur, something like this. Yeah, about importing some food from other continents to Europe, and it's not okay in this way, but also it demands us to think about the fact that if we consume products more local, you have to think about some people can't like eat fish, for example. For us, we come from a place where we don't have the sea. So, for example, if you need some
I wouldn't want you to eat
protein-
fish anyway. Fish are individuals who feel, who have emotions also.
Are you sure about the
Yeah.
fact that fish have emotion?
Yeah, fish have emotions.
Tu parles des huîtres,
Hmm?
tu parles des coquillages.
It's very difficult for me to say, you know, when we talk about fish, there's a whole group of category that we categorize as fish. I'll just say most of them. I don't know about all of them, but I would
Yeah.
argue that most of them, and especially the ones that we eat or farm, are sentient. They have emotions. Yes. But like, whether we buy it locally or not doesn't really matter, because even in those situations, animals still get exploited and killed, right? For us, there's still violence there. There still is disrespect towards them. And in situations where we don't need to, when we can buy other plant-based options, how can we ever morally justify doing this to them?
I agree with the part, but disagree with the fact that you don't have to generalize this, because I've been in some place where you have to produce animals, like for chicken, for example, and
Why?
you have to kill them because people want to.
Because they want to,
eat
not
them?
because they have to.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Like,
you see, you also said it's
the
because people
question-
want to eat
no.
them.
The question is that you, in your thinking and in your tellings, you are trying to like deconstruct total cultural facts because like.
I don't
things-
care about culture. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, but it's not the fact. If you want to think how we do it, you have to necessarily like deconstruct the culture of people and those kind of things.
No, I understand a lot of people do it because of culture. I understand
exactly.
that.
And that's the main point.
I
We are
understand that.
agreeing
But
this.
I'm here to, and I agree with you. A lot of people do that. But do you think that should we follow culture when culture is inherently immoral? Because, for example, there's cultures in the world that do female genital mutilation. They basically cut the clitoris of women, and that's cultural. But we would never say that is moral to do to somebody, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
But you have also
So-
other
so-
cultural aspects.
Yeah, but I'm just saying culture does not dictate morality. And at some point in our history, it was cultural to have slaves. It was cultural. That doesn't mean that owning slaves was ever moral, was it? So what I'm saying is that it's immoral to kill animals for food. It's immoral to exploit animals, to use them, because we have other alternatives. Right? So I understand there's a cultural aspect to it, whereas that's why people do it. But what I'm saying is that we as individuals need to challenge that culture. We as individuals don't need to be part of that culture, but even furthermore, we need to improve on that culture. I'm not saying ditch the culture. If your culture says that you need to sit down for Christmas with a turkey on the table, sit down on Christmas with a tofurkey, with something that doesn't exploit an animal, right? We just need to eliminate the immoral part of the culture and continue doing our culture however it is that we want to do it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything holding you guys back from never exploiting animals? Because you seem like compassionate people. You seem like people who are empathetic.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's the way we're doing those kind of things. For example, me, the fact that I living my parents' home, I don't eat now so much chicken or meat, for example, because
Chickens. Not chicken, chickens.
yeah, you have
We, you know, when we say chicken, I'm just sorry for correcting you there, but when we say we don't eat chicken, we're really, we're objectifying them so much, right? Because we're treating them as an object, chicken, but the reality is they're individuals, they're chickens, they're a multitude of animals who didn't want to die. I'm sorry for correcting you
No, it's
there.
okay, it's fine. But yeah, for example, I don't eat so much of that. I just eat it when I want to make a big meal, for example.
Yeah.
Like one time during like 2 months, for example. And like it's a particular moment, but...
And that's obviously good, right? It's better than, let's say, what most people do, but...
Yeah, that's it, but it's a process. And
But it's still like, imagine that one animal that died for you for that one process, that one day that you choose. Do you think to that one animal, they care that you don't usually do it? They just care that they have their whole life taken away from them because you wanted to do it one time.
I guess it's the cycle of life.
Is it the cycle of life? Is killing part of the cycle of life?
Well, I don't know, and I don't think I can like be able to respond about this question in like 10 minutes of discussing in the
No, I get that. Yeah, I'm just trying to challenge a little bit of your beliefs,
but
right?
it's a thing we have to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just ask you one final question and let you go because I don't want to force you into anything.
No,
Like,
you are gonna talk.
how many more animals should be exploited for you before you make this change?
How much?
How many do you want? How many more animals should be exploited or suffer for you before you make this change?
I don't know.
It's a trap. Huh?
How many do you want?
Maybe just one more chicken, just one, and it will be okay.
Why just one?
Just the last one. Like to say goodbye to this cultural attitude.
I mean, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just like, in your ideal scenario, you're saying that one more chicken should die for
In
you?
my ideal scenario, I don't know, like people live in peace and we don't have war, but it's not the case.
No,
So
but that doesn't mean you go around killing people and
No.
and causing war.
I'm not
So
normalizing it.
No, so
but I say that this part of the human being and the human life, like since the beginning, and we have to go further in what you say. So, how we say that?
well, we've been doing it
Making
forever.
some
It doesn't-
upload about our cultural immorality. But yeah, it's a fight in long term, and maybe the best
know,
way
women-
to do this is to like prevent also, especially our kids, and to modify our attitude, think about it, making some search.
Yeah, you need to do that. But what I was questioning is, because when I ask you how many more animals do you want to be exploited for you, it's like in your ideal case, how many more animals should die, should be exploited for you? And you said one. Is that your ideal case, that one animal
No,
should die?
it's just a joke.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, if I were here to speak on behalf of women who are beaten up by their husbands, if I ask you how many more women should be beaten up by husbands, and you make a joke and you say one, it's a
No.
bit insensitive.
No,
so
no.
that's all
it's
I'm
not
saying.
the same thing, because we are talking about human being. So it's like
I'm sorry. What is the difference? What is the difference when it's a victim? If the victim is human being, or if the victim is a dog or if the victim is a cow, what is the difference? They all can
'Cause I
suffer,
told you
they
at the
all feel
beginning.
emotions.
I told you at the beginning. At the beginning, I told you that for me, and it's very specific. It's my own idea, but yeah, for me, human animals are not the same. Even if they have some laws and you have to respect them. And I'm very religious. This is why.
Well,
I
what is
talk
the difference
everything
between them? You said they're not the same, so tell me what the difference is.
For me, it's about the question of comment on dit ça la conscience. Consciousness.
Animals have that.
No, but the fact that no. I don't think it's it's the same. For me, it's not the same. The fact that we can create and organize a society, even if some animals
Can you create an organized society?
No, not myself.
So,
But as a group, as a collective intelligence.
as a
even
group,
if
animals
other
also create
animals-
organized societies on their own.
Yeah, I know, but we have I don't know, it's not the same, and I can't argue about that here because
Do you believe in evolution?
in evolution, in some ways.
So you believe that all animals were at the same time as us on the planet. We developed higher intelligence at the same time as other animals developed other capabilities. So what makes it that we all of a sudden develop higher intelligence? We think we're better than them. And does that mean that we get to do whatever we want to them? Like, even if you think humans are superior in any way, I disagree, but let's agree to disagree there.
It's
But
not a question of being better than. It's like just being different. It's like a woman and a man.
Exactly. So then
It's
if
something
it's
different.
just different, then the difference should never justify killing them, should it? For something that we
course.
don't need. Same as women and men, as you said, there's a difference. Same as us and animals. It's true, we're just different. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other. I feel like you kind of get there. You kind of get there, but like I don't want to push you too much. I just
No,
want you to understand.
it's especially
this
the fact that
perspective.
I can't argue myself because I'm, as I told you at the beginning, I'm not very fluent in English, so.
I think you've been doing great.
Oh,
I think
okay.
your
Thank you
English
so
has been
much.
good. I think your
You
English
too.
has been good. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
this
having this
moment.
conversation with me. Let me just give you a card before you go.
Yeah, of course.
Oh wait, I don't have it more on me. Here's a. I'll give you a card.
Thank you.
I recommend you watch. Mister. Sorry. I recommend you watch Dominion, or the most important speech you'll ever hear. You just gotta scan this QR code or go on this website and type in this code. Can you promise me you'll watch one of these? You're highly intelligent people. I just
I
want you
promise.
to know what you're
Yeah.
paying for, and if you choose that you don't want to be part of any of it, you have several resources to help you out with everything.
It's
okay?
fine.
All of it is
Thank
free.
you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for having this conversation with me, and
Take care.
Take care. Have a good
See
one.
you.
That was a pretty good conversation. Chip, good outreach. This couple is definitely better than the last annoying street musician guy. Yeah, you know that guy actually was listening. The previous guy was I was staying here. He was listening to the conversation I was having with the previous people, and then he kept staying there. And I think he was trying to mount his arguments and make some form of arguments. And I just asked him at some point if he wants to have a conversation already. He came and had the conversation. Oh my God, serotonin, thank you so much. Chip, really amazing videos. Keep up speaking up for the animals. You're always in the cold, so selfless to help animals. I'm not that selfless. Don't put me up on a pedestal. I'm not that. Just a normal, regular guy doing activism. There's plenty of animal rights activists that do a great job. It's not. I'm just a cogwheel in the system. That's all it is. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey Chip, how do you say "is this vegan" in Romanian? When you say "this," what do you refer to? Because in Romanian, I kind of need to tell you what you're referring to. Are you asking if a food is vegan? Because you can just say "e asta vegan." "E" means is, "asta" means this, and vegan, vegan. So yeah. We're all animals sent to slaughter, says Bandito Suavecito. Are we? Are you sent to slaughter, Bandito? Are you? Does somebody exploit you or kill you? Hunter McIntyre, bro is soy made. Yeah, hell yeah, I eat a lot of soy, man. That's how you get them muscles. That's how I did 126 kg for 4 reps today as a squat. This guy is soy-based protein. Yeah, hell yeah.
Hi.
Hi. You want to try the social experiment?
Federico, nice to meet you.
Federico, nice. Chip, nice to meet you, Federico. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel? It's okay. Okay. So tell me, Federico, how do you feel about oppression?
Oppression,
Yeah.
we should like define it as a general sense of
I can
oppression
define it for
under.
you if you want.
If you can define it, it would be better.
Yeah. So oppression means cruel or unjust treatment or an exercise of authority.
No, I am against it.
You're
I'm
against
against every unclear exercise of authority.
I appreciate that. Okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No, I think that like sometimes when I see, I don't know, some film or I talk with people about power and similar, there is always this rhetoric that with strength, like if you are weak, you can just subject to the strength of others, and it's in the strength of others to help you or not. I do not agree with that.
Okay.
I think there should be a system, a higher system, obviously a higher regulator that it's composed by people and by not only singular decision maker but group decision maker that regulate the power and distribution of the power
Yeah.
amongst the people.
So that people with power, that individuals with power do not oppress the individuals
Exactly.
who don't have power. Okay.
Then we can also choose which stuff is under rule of these countries, but it's a larger argument. But yeah, in general, that's the thing.
What if the powerful get benefit from oppressing? Does that make oppression okay?
No, then it's even better, more better, it's worse.
It's worse. Okay.
Yeah.
And what if the powerless?
Even if it's only psychological gain,
Okay.
I think if you get psychological benefit from oppressing someone else, you're also not a really nice person.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
That's like the in some sense it's like the Matrix rhetoric, you know?
Yeah. So if they don't realize that they're oppressed, does that make oppression okay?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's still wrong.
If the point is, if you know that someone is oppressed, you should inform them. Once you are informed, one is free to choose to be oppressed. I know it's weird, but
Yeah.
one can choose to just be oppressed.
Maybe they cannot understand you. Maybe you don't speak the
but
same language.
once
maybe
they understand, they are free to choose.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. But do you think that oppressors have the obligation to not oppress? Not oppressors. Individuals who have power have the obligation to not oppress individuals without power?
Like in Italy, there is this very famous saleswoman on TV, you know, that on this secondary channel that just say every day, and it's called Vanna Marchi, and she's a bit of a trash icon, but
Yeah.
it was a very famous case in the 80s because she always states the douchebags need to be come dici fregati? Fucked. Need to be scammed. Need to be scammed.
Okay.
And so that was like a line of reason. I do not agree with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the point is if you ask to a powerful person to choose to oppress or not, we need to assume the morality of this person. If
Yeah.
this person of just morality, he will choose to not oppress another weaker person.
So if somebody who knows that they're oppressing somebody else, like I understand if situations when they don't know, but if they know that they're oppressing somebody, they have
It's
the
up
obligation
to their morality. Like I for my morality, yes.
For your morality, okay,
Yes,
that's perfect.
but
That's
obviously
good enough. From
for
your
my
morality,
morality, yeah.
okay. Do you think that we're oppressing animals when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for us?
Yeah, I think yes. No, in fact, I tend at least to I agree with the line of reasoning to try in your best. I'm not fully vegan, but in your everyday cook at home, kitchen at home, you should at least try to
Why
eat.
are you not fully vegan, as you say, by the way? Because I want to
Yeah.
ask you first. Wait, before we go there, what do you think being vegan is?
Do not eat. It depends. Yeah, animal-based foods and also animal products, not like the milk or eggs.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm more closer to the vegetarian line of thinking. Like for me, maybe I do not drink out of milk, but I see less problematic if the drink obviously is taken in an ethical way. But the point is you should really reduce it in your diet. Also, there is the point of choosing which brand you're dressing
before
with.
we get into there, because
yeah.
you're saying a lot of things. I'm sorry. So being vegan is none of that. Being vegan is a moral position. It's about morality. It means we reject the exploitation of animals. It means we don't oppress animals.
Okay.
It sounds to me like morally you align with that, right? We shouldn't
Yeah.
be oppressing animals.
No,
Just
I'm
because we
okay.
have power over them doesn't mean we can't get to oppress them, right?
Yes.
So, of course, as a consequence, we don't use them as resources. We don't use them as sources for food. We don't use them as sources for clothing. We don't use them
Obviously,
as
yes,
entertainment,
you
right?
should.
Because we have other alternatives. And in the absence of need, we can't morally justify killing them or exploiting them, right? We
Yes.
can't do any of this to them. So I understand that you kind of want to get there because you say you're not fully there. But I want to ask you, what is it that's keeping you right now from going?
Mainly, it's and I know it's like one of the things that will never be okay to eat. It's fish.
Fish.
Yeah,
But don't you think fish feel?
No. Yes, I
Yeah.
think that fish feel.
Yeah.
And also, I know that there is no way of ethically sourced fish. Maybe
Exactly.
like an egg or some milk
Also
in
no
some way.
eggs.
But
No milk also.
on that, I'm more like okay, like if you treat them in some way, you can get the milk or the egg, but that's another
Oh no,
argument.
I can't let that slide. I can't let that slide.
Okay,
I'm
but,
sorry.
so we'll talk it in a second about
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
But I know like the fish is never okay. That there is no way of
Yeah.
fishing. Also, when they say, but it's the local fisherman, but even the local fisherman is not using methods and ways that will not like
And it's
destroy
extremely-
reef.
And it's
or-
extremely cruel to them also because they get they get taken out of their natural environment and they asphyxiate
But
to death.
I
you
have
know?
a sentimental attachment. I know it's a problem. I have a deep sentimental attachment to my since
To-
my
to like
grandma.
food, you mean?
No, my grandma used to make me only this little bread with some
Yeah,
fish on it,
yeah.
and sometimes like every 2 months I just. If I see it in the shop, I just buy it. I know it's.
But
it's
you can
forever.
find, there's alternatives to it
Yeah, I know.
nowadays.
I'm
There's
trying
there's
some
plant-based
with
alternatives.
fish.
Yeah.
I not find anything that it's like.
It's not
the same.
exactly the same.
But with meat,
but
like
maybe
I
it's
eat planted or other
yeah.
stuff.
But maybe maybe it's similar enough that taking a because if I understand it's a sentimental value to you, which is
No,
important.
I
right?
know. In fact,
But-
like I know I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
And I do the only human thing that is possible. So I try to excuse myself with
Okay.
what I'm feeling.
Okay.
I know it's unethical, but I
Yeah.
say I try to be always
Yeah.
in the good. I cannot be always in the good.
Okay.
Only on that I try to pardon myself. Obviously, because if only I was the one buying fish, there would be no fish market. So
Yeah.
there would be no option, and the problem would self-resolve.
Yeah.
So for that part, I'm a bit leaning on the others to say, please stop buying fish, so that even I cannot, and when I cannot buy fish, for me, it will be okay. Like,
But do you think that to that one individual, that one fish that
yeah, no,
that
I
suffers to death, that gets asphyxiated to death?
I know. Like I
don't think
agree
they
with
care.
you.
They care how much you eat. They just care that you ate that one
No,
time.
you
and that-
kill. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, obviously.
Okay, but let's go back to that dairy thing that you mentioned.
Yeah, I know there are also dairy alternatives, and I do not
Yeah.
usually drink milks. Like, okay, with milks, I lean more on your position because
Yeah.
obviously the milk is not meant for you.
Yeah.
So it's
milk
you
is
are
meant
you
for
are
baby-
depriving
yeah.
another not human, another creature
Yeah.
of like the substance for growth.
Yeah.
And so yeah, on the
So
milk
the
side,
same
I can
with
agree.
cheese, right?
Yeah, the same with cheese.
Yeah. So how
but
can
cheese
it-
there is also like in Sicily there created this almond cheese.
Oh yeah. No, I
it's
mean
a-
like I'm sorry. I mean dairy cheese. But
okay,
so because you said it could be theoretically ethical, but
more for the eggs, like for the unfertilized eggs, since
But
the
even for the-
hen will just produce the eggs anyway. Then you can say, okay, but these kind of hens we have like inbreeded them for generation.
Yeah.
But now we have them.
But
so
let me ask you this because
if
all
they
the-
live free range, they just produce the eggs that are unfertilized.
there's a couple of issues still there, right? Like
Yeah.
So first of all,
But
all,
less than
all these chickens they come from hatcheries. Have you ever seen what happens in hatcheries?
yeah, no, I know.
So
I
for-
live
so
in,
for
in Italy,
every-
in a zone near all this, but it's also the smell. It's incredibly.
Oh, you're talking
bad.
about the butchery, but like in a
Butchery, yeah.
hatchery is where the eggs hatch from from an egg, right?
Yeah, they have all these little,
So when an egg hatches, there's a 50-50 chance that they're either male or female. If
Yeah.
they're born female, they go to
the male, they're useless.
they go to exactly the male they're useless
They're
and they get
economically
killed.
useless, yeah.
And they get killed, right? So when we buy eggs, we're still supporting that. We're still giving part of our money
exactly.
is going to that.
You that's the problem. You will need to find a source for this egg that, like, I don't know, like me or you, that just have these free-range hens and you have a little short supply of eggs and you just
But
sell
even
it,
in those
then
situations,
it's uneconomical.
yeah,
and,
there still is a problem, on most farms, and including biological farms. I actually been on biological farms here, and when they no longer lay enough eggs, they kill them. So if they don't lay more, they like
but
it's 5 eggs
because
per
the
week.
point is is an economical point. Like
Yeah.
that's more in what I don't know what you do in your life.
I'm
other
a
than
software
social-
engineer.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
While I'm on a PhD student in entrepreneurial finance.
Yeah.
So that's more on the economical side. The problem then, if you want to talk about it, is how we distribute the value and how we calculate value, because one can say, but the life of the end itself has more value than the actually produce.
I would argue that.
So
and
you
there's
can-
also, I'm sorry for interrupting you
No,
there,
no,
but there's
no, no
also the
worries.
issue with which I find the biggest issue is that in a world where we treat animals as resources, where we see them as objects and we objectify them, even in a situation where you're treating the chickens absolutely perfect and you're eliminating all these other issues with it, you're still treating the animal as an object because
Yes.
you just use them to get the eggs from them. You see what I mean? So even in
Yes.
those situations, it's wrong. And by the way, in sanctuaries where they rescue chickens, what they do is they take their eggs and they smash them on the ground, and chickens come.
And they
pecking
eat
at
it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
chickens
you've
eat
seen
that,
it. Yeah,
they-
yeah, because they need the nutrients back.
Yes,
you know?
but
Yeah.
chicken, that there is this myth that chicken eats mice. No, they eat a lot of little animals. And,
Yeah. So when it comes to eggs, they still get used and treated as objects. When it comes to milk, they still get treated as objects because they
Yeah.
get separated from their.
No, I know.
mother.
So maybe like a modest proposal would be to find a way to do not treat still trying to create some value. Obviously, our underlying idea is we need to create some value. I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
I do not agree with that statement, but since the general way of thinking is we need to create some value, maybe there could be some ways of not treating the animal as objects but as partners.
But why
and,
not just leave
use,
them all alone?
No, and use their natural behaviors to produce something. Or
Like
to
we mean
create
working
something.
alongside animals, right?
Exactly. So it's
mean-
more like obviously we in that line of thinking we do not harm animals. We do
But
not
don't you think
harass
that's
them.
how we got here? And the way we got to this world is by thinking we live in communion with animals. At some point, agriculture started with us taking some animals, feeding them, and they giving us something for in turn, right?
Yeah, but
then
that's
at some
more
point,
on the labor. That's more labor on the animals. So
at some
it's
point, we
like
just
taking
started
an
cutting
animal
corners, and then we said, listen, what if instead of me taking only the excess milk from the babies, instead of the
No,
excess milk, well, how
yeah.
about if I separate them and give a little bit of the milk to the babies? They don't need to drink too much,
No,
and then
okay, but
I take
that's,
the rest. Or
okay, I see that. But this is more like obviously that we need a regulation, a regulator, and stuff. But
Yeah,
I'm not talking about that. Like I'm not talking about okay, let's take I don't know. As you say, we come from an agricultural culture, and then we have taken the buoi come cazzo si dice? Not like cows.
Cows, yeah.
Yeah, cows, but cows is more.
Cows,
no.
it's like female.
Lo so, I know. I mean the male one, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, but
okay.
let me-
And we use them, you say, to work the fields for us, but that's not what I mean. Like that's an unnatural behavior.
No,
for
you
them.
mean like a
Maybe-
communion, right? Like you mean like
no,
an.
literally that we would need a biologist or a zoologist here or an etiologist. Maybe there are some totally natural behaviors that can tell us something. So it's literally leave the animal be, and by observing them, you get information. Sorry, it's more an
I see what you mean.
information.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
An information
listen,
exchange.
as long as you let the animal be,
Exactly.
I'm all
I don't know.
for it. I'm all
Like
for
when
it, yeah.
if you see, a huge flock of
Yeah.
birds flowing from one direction to another, you can get maybe some useful information. Also, I remember that there was this study, this very interesting study, in which they have created not energy but computational information like binary 0 1
Yeah.
by studying with a camera the movements of some crabs.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
were assigning some parameters, and then they were getting this computational information. And that's
Yeah.
an innovative way. Obviously, that's not economical because it will. But maybe there are economical way to do so. So just get information. And since innovation is based on information,
But let me ask you this because I
more
think I
aligned
kind of
with the
understand your
solar
point of
punk.
view. But I'll ask you one question, which
Mm.
I think kind of can clarify where I'm at, and maybe can clarify also where you're at.
Yeah.
Let's imagine your ideal case of farming, right? Whatever it is, whether that exists or not, I don't know. I'm going to ask you.
Okay, I'm not an expert, but I can try.
Okay, just imagine that ideal case of farming. Would you say would it be ideal in that situation? Would it
There
be
is no
okay to
animals,
replace an animal with a human? Like, would it be okay to farm humans? Is the same way as you see it ideal as farming animals?
Ah, okay. With farming, you mean also
Whatever
with
it is that
animal.
farming
No,
means
it's
to you.
no. For me, farming is like plants.
Plants. Okay. I see what you mean.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
I
no,
don't need animals. I
no,
have
no,
like
no.
the machines.
There you go. That's how we should see it in the first place. No, I get, but there is no.
So I was
there is
imagining
no-
literally, the human just walking around the field,
Yeah.
doing the roads. Like, yeah, we were doing it like 300 years ago.
But there's
More.
no ethical way to farm animals, is there?
No, but we agree that if you harm an animal, then you are not doing an ethical thing.
Yeah. Farm, not harm, right? Farm. Like, use them for whatever it is that we want, for eggs, for milk, for meat, whatever it is.
The only thing I'm still unpersuaded is the eggs, but it's okay. Like, it's the eggs because you said.
Let's put it in this situation. Okay, you say eggs. Let's put it in the place of chickens. There's women, and we're eating their periods because that's what the egg
obviously,
is. Would it be okay to do this to women?
Yeah, it's a graphic image, but we need to say.
It's a graphic image indeed.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a bit gore, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with that, but it's normal. It's not.
Yeah.
But if we have a, first of all, we need to think that women natural habitat will be just this nice field. Obviously, it's not only plain field, but if we provide a nice natural habitat and their period were just.
But we still remove their autonomy, right? Just to understand that. Because, like, for example, if a chicken that lays eggs, it stays
No, but
with me.
I'm saying that the chickens, the thing that I was saying, that today with crossbreeding, we have a series of chickens that I don't know if we just leave them being, they will probably just perish. And you can say it's ethical
It's okay,
to
yeah.
let
Yeah, it's-
perish a genetical line
Yeah,
that
it's
is
a
not
species that we brought into existence
that is
anyway,
not fit for survival. So you say the survival of the fittest, the basic theorem will manifest, and then it will just stop. Okay, if we see that's your point of view, for me, say since there is no way that we survive alone, to guarantee their survival, we can do that.
But
It's the only point in which we are
Let
a
me
bit
pose this
divided.
hypothetical scenario,
Yeah.
right? So you have chickens and you say you take care of them and you use their eggs, right? Some of these chickens, they decide to go to your neighbor. They no longer want to live with you. Would it be okay if all of your chickens go and live with your
like
neighbor?
they start,
They all just say,
go
they just,
over
they all
the
just
fence.
say, fuck this guy, I'm going to my neighbor. Let's in a hypothetical
if
scenario.
they will consistently, obviously, because supposing that I can understand perfectly the behavior of the chicken, then yes, if they just choose to go,
I'm
to your
just trying
neighbor,
to question
but it's a
if-
strong supposition.
I'm just trying to understand that if you think that, because there's a lot of problems with that, aside from objectifying animals, there's also the problem of removing their autonomy, right? A lot
Yeah,
of the
but,
times when we keep chickens or animals for their eggs, they don't have any autonomy on their own. We feed them what we want to feed them. We tell them
but in
we
free
have to stay
range,
in.
like real free range, where you just have this huge property and they let.
But free range still means the same thing. They still have one property that is defined in certain
But
borders,
if you
right?
think about it, we also live in that way. In
Well,
some
we
kind
don't
of way.
because we still have choices. You can still. You're in
No,
Amsterdam.
but we
you're
are
from Italy.
but
You can
we-
choose
we
to
are-
go
but
to
we are
France. You
saying,
can choose to.
But we are saying if we could perfectly understand the ants and they were just like, "Fuck you! I want to move to your farm because it will just smash my eggs."
But you don't have to understand it. If you see them moving to your
then
farm,
no, okay, yeah. If they will just consistently move away, then there is no way to keep an animal. Like they're
Yeah.
smart, so they know how to
Yeah.
to just hustle away.
I'm just trying
No,
to
no.
show you ways in which even
See,
in all
the
situations
only-
animals are still
the only
treated.
solution that comes to my mind that satisfy your requirements, your hypothetical requirements, is a priori. So if we
What's a priori? I don't know.
exactly. So sorry, it's a before the reasonment. It's a way. It's a Latin. Don't worry. It's used also in modern Italian, but
Yeah,
Latin.
yeah.
It's that before everything happens, since we have the doubt, we should not do it. That's
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
thing.
So we shouldn't
That's
be-
the only
So
thing.
we should
because
go vegan. There
if
you
we
go.
just
That's
go,
the easiest way.
If we just go deeper in the reasoning and in the logical reasoning, there is immense disbursement of energy and thinking about ways, and
Yeah.
it's useless. The
So-
point is, if you are in doubt of it, like, if you are of good morality and you are in doubt of subjugating and hurting another creature, maybe you should not do it.
Exactly.
That,
so,
that's the,
so,
the-
so then it just seems like the best way, the safest way to live
cold
up to your
again?
own
Okay.
morals is to go vegan, right?
Yeah, no, yes, vegan. Yeah, vegan. For me, vegan, vegetarian. Yeah.
Well,
vegan.
vegetarians,
Yeah,
they
no,
use
it's since I do not,
eggs and
I do
milk
not
and still
usually
exploit
eat
animals.
meats and eggs. So for me, it's.
But even once,
No, no,
I understand the usually,
no, say vegan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Logical. I know it's the right word.
Yeah,
Semantic is important.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, okay, that's fine. Okay, I appreciate that. Well, let me give you a map of Amsterdam.
Thank you.
That will.
And you are from here.
I'm actually from Romania, but I live in Netherlands here. This is a map of vegan restaurants in Amsterdam.
Thank you.
It will helpful for you. Yeah, and if I recommend you one thing that you might really enjoy is you go on this website veganfuture.org. And you watch, there's only one video on that whole page. It's called The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear. It's a really good video to watch.
Okay.
It's like 30 minutes, the speech, and then there's questions and answers. I don't care if you watch the questions and answers, but watch the speech because it's so
Okay.
good. And you seem like a very intelligent person, and you will enjoy the speech, and you know, it might get you thinking things.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you. Oh, have a nice weekend.
Yeah, thank you. You
And
too.
a nice life.
Yeah, you too. Hey,
Bye.
have a good one.
You too.
Cheers. Yeah, the conversation was long and going almost nowhere, so I think I wanted to end it. I mean, the guy was really nice. I feel like he kind of understood the whole point. He kind of said that he wants to go vegan. Yeah, smart lad, exactly. Says Luke Galbraith. That guy was a lovely chap. Yeah, he was. He was a very, very nice guy. Very smart also, and kind of understood all the points. But I feel like we were already going into hypothetical scenarios, going there, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, this guy already understands veganism. This guy already kind of knows that he wants to get there. Yeah, he kind of got it exactly. Yeah. Are there a lot of non-vegans in the chat today? And if you're not vegan, please tell me what is keeping you from ever stopping your support for animal exploitation. More Joy says wave. Hello. There you go.
I'll do it.
Hey, are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, hi.
What's your name?
Jack.
Nice to meet you, Jack. I'm Chip.
Nice to meet you.
So, where are you from?
Manchester, England.
Manchester. Okay. So, Jack, let me see. How do you feel about slavery? Is it wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Why is slavery wrong? Why, let me ask you, not specifically of slavery, because I don't care about slavery necessarily. Why is it wrong to own a human being?
I think it's wrong because everyone is equal and everyone has the same values and no one should be treated worse than another person.
In what way? So everybody's equal, everybody has the same values? What do you mean? Like if people have different values or if they're not...
No, like everyone should be, no one person is more important than another, so no one person should be put on a pedestal over another.
Okay. What if somebody's intellectually challenged? They can't comprehend that they're to
Well,
keep
then-
these properties.
They shouldn't be made to be a slave because they're vulnerable. That's not fair.
Okay, so if they're vulnerable, they still shouldn't be used as properties.
No.
Okay. What about animals? Should animals be property?
No.
No. Okay. Do you think that in animal agriculture, animals are treated as properties?
Yeah, in zoos they are, but which is wrong. I think. I don't think you should have zoos. So.
But what about farms? And
Yeah, if they're looked after well, then that's good.
are they still not treated as properties?
Yeah, I guess so actually. So maybe not. You know, I don't know. That one's hard.
Do they have any autonomy in farms?
I don't know what that means.
That means, do they get to decide what they want to do?
No, so that's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that's
agree.
wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why owning somebody is wrong, right? Because they don't
Yeah.
have autonomy for their
Yeah.
own body. So then, if you think it's wrong, if what happens in farms to animals is wrong,
Yeah.
then are you consuming animal products? Are you supporting farms?
Not really.
Not really. Are you vegan?
No, but I don't have meat often.
You-
But I should probably reduce the amount I have.
When you say you don't have meat often, it still means you have it sometimes.
Yeah. So I guess I am adding to it a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it's important that you stop contributing to it for the sake of
Yeah.
living up to your own morals?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
something I could improve.
Yeah, so obviously reducing is one step of it, but when we reduce, we're still contributing to it, are we not?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a hard one.
so do you think it's important that we stop?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
probably.
is there anything holding you back from stopping?
Don't know. I'm not sure.
Say it again.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to grasp where your values are at, because as far as I understand, your values are that it's pretty clear that it's wrong to remove the autonomy of a sentient individual, somebody who can feel, who can emote, who can have the wills and desires, and
Mhm.
animals are just like humans, that they have all the same things that we do.
Yeah.
So, but then, do you think that you go against your own values when you buy animal products?
I guess so, yeah, which is wrong, so I could
Yeah.
improve that, yeah.
You could improve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have got, I might have to go, sorry.
Okay, that's no worries. Let me give you a card to help you with that. I urge you to, because you know, when we think about animal agriculture, a lot of the times we think about some form of happy animals or something, because that's what they sell us. They sell us this propaganda of animals being happy and beautiful. But you know, I'm here to speak on their behalf and to speak for their rights.
Yeah.
So I urge you to watch either the most important speech you'll ever hear or Dominion. You just gotta scan this QR code or go on this website.
Okay, thank
Can you
you.
promise me you'll do one of these?
I'll do it, I promise.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye, Jack. There you go. Chase VA. I don't know if they were a boy. I didn't ask, and I don't care. Maybe they identify as a woman. I don't really care. They were nice. They were open. They understood. It seems like an argument for principalism would be effective in this environment. I don't know what principalism is. Batman family, can you explain? Chase, still a boy. I don't know what to tell you, Chase. I'm assuming you have a problem with gender identity, which is it's kind of weak if you ask me, if you don't understand the whole point of gender identity, and if you don't understand that gender is an actual identity, not something biological. But whatever, you do you. What can I say? I mean, I think it's wrong, but if you refuse to look into it and you want to have this bigoted view that gender and sex are the same thing, far be it from me. I just got to tell you that you're being bigoted when you have that view. So meat eaters are bad people or people with lesser values, asks Dixon Yes. Well, Dixon, that's a good question, you know. Are meat eaters bad people? I think inherently meat eaters are not bad people, you know. Meat eaters, a lot of the times, they've been fed this narrative that animals live nicely, that they have a good life, and that their whole purpose is for them to be killed and exploited, and thus it's okay to do this to them, you know. We're being fed a narrative where we think that whatever it is that we do is okay somehow, but the reality is it's not. So if you're a meat eater who has seen what animals go through, if you're a meat eater who has had conversations like this, or who was challenged and kind of understand that it is bad to exploit and kill animals when we have readily available options, and you still choose to do so for whatever reason, then I don't know if you're a bad person per se, but you know, you're doing a bad thing. That's what I can say. Then you should also talk about GMO products, says Rick. I don't have a problem with GMO products, Rick. What is the problem with GMO products? There is only one issue with some GMO seeds, but the latest technology has actually solved that issue with GMO seeds. So I don't really have any problems with GMO seeds. Dixon Yes says it's a yes or no question. Dixon Yes, I already replied to your question. Even if you are not a bad person, does that justify bad actions? Stop exploiting animals. There you go. You see, people in the chat are pretty smart. Ro is very smart. He already knows. Is it that a lot of people want to be on camera, but they don't want to admit when they are uninformed and are losing an argument? Asks Cornell. I guess so, to a sense, yeah.
Is this for TikTok?
No, it's actually for my YouTube channel.
For your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Which country?
Oh, I mean, I live here in Netherlands, but I'm from Romania. Do you guys want to try the social experiment?
She wants to try. Yeah. Can we try, and if we don't want to send it out, you don't send it out?
I mean, it's live.
Oh, it's live.
live?
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, how much? Hello.
It's like 100 people watching now.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah.
Aguante Peñarol. Vamos arriba.
I mean, they were here first. Do you want to try it?
Yeah, they're first. What is happening?
Hey, you go.
You
saw this sign.
you saw the sign? Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
No, it's okay.
It's okay. 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 Oh, there's a lot of you, huh? Okay, I'll ask all of you. You know what? Fuck it. You girls can also chime in if you want. I'll ask all of you. I'll just throw around the sign. And the sign says animal abuse should be legal. In other words, animal abuse is okay. Do you guys agree with this?
No,
Why not?
because I mean, I know what you're doing. Okay.
Why should we cause like suffering like to the animals?
Why should we cause suffering to animals, right? So animals can suffer, right? That's why it's wrong to cause suffering to them.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's good. Do you guys agree? Can animals suffer?
And you?
Yeah, I agree. It's a reverse psychology experiment. That's the whole
Yeah,
reason
I
why I
remember
pointed
that.
out. He understood
Yeah.
it already. Yeah. So it's wrong to abuse animals.
Yes.
It's wrong to wait. Before I go in there, what do you think abuse is? How would you define abuse?
Making like something suffering or like break it. Like it doesn't have to be like someone or something alive.
Hurt
Maybe it's
them.
an
Yeah.
object.
Cause them harm, right?
Yes,
In a sense.
harm something. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs. What about cows, chickens, pigs?
No. Yes, it is. It is bad to abuse them, but like in certain way we eat them. So
Is that not abusive? Taking their life for something we don't need is not abusive?
No, but
Don't we need, ahí va. Don't we need to eat?
We don't need to eat animals, right?
Humans are omnivores. They eat meat and they eat
But we don't need to eat any meat.
I think
Only the protein.
I think that for
Can we get protein from plant-based products?
They don't have the amino acids that meat
All plants have all 9 essential amino acids that the human body needs.
I mean,
I think that humans must eat meat, but maybe not killing.
Science disagrees.
Okay, but not killing them in like a harm way, like lots of meat consiste frigoríficos. Like many people kill animals
suffering, and then
like
they get killed by
without
in a good
suffering.
manner.
Like euthanasia.
If you're
but-
gonna kill a cow or a chicken, just cut it off, like cut off their head
So
immediately.
wait, are we talking right now? So I just started with it's wrong to abuse animals,
No, that's
and all of a
abuse.
sudden, all of you are trying to say how is the best way to kill an animal?
No, I was going
Yes,
to ask.
but why would that be like?
That's the meaning of abuse. Abuse is to
Abuse is to cause harm, right?
harm, no, suffer.
It's to suffer.
Yes,
And do you think
like
that
not
somebody
suffering.
putting a knife to their throat is not
No,
suffering?
Not
I mean,
not a knife
and-
specifically.
Like-
Instant death.
Yeah.
That is-
Okay. Well,
Like
what's your
without
name?
Suffering.
My name, Johnny.
Johnny. Okay. What if we cut Johnny's head all of a sudden? Is that okay?
It's not gonna.
It's
No, if we needed to.
If we are
No,
in,
no, let's
if
put it
we
this
are
way.
in an extreme case, like
Yeah, so-
Los Andes,
And
maybe
if
God
Johnny was an animal.
What if we don't need to eat him?
pardons me.
No, right here on the street.
No.
We can
No,
go
only-
into a supermarket.
No,
we can
but
buy plant-based products.
Johnny is not an animal.
No. What do you mean? He's
Exactly.
human. He's an animal.
No.
Humans are animals.
Yes,
Humans
I
are
agree.
mammals.
Humans
We're
are Homo
animals.
sapiens. Are Homo sapiens.
But let me ask you this: what if I take his life and eat him? Is that wrong?
you think it's right because
Cannibalism.
you are in favor of
Cannibalism
I'm
is
just
not
asking, is it wrong?
Ethically, yes.
Ethically, it's wrong. So why would it be correct to do that to an animal?
No,
But you're
you think
advocating
that is okay.
in favor of
Every
that.
person have the
No. But that was reverse psychology.
Because every
I'm
person
all
have-
against the idea of killing or using animals as resources.
Oh, you're vegan.
Yeah, I am vegan. Yeah, so being vegan literally just means we oppose the animal exploitation and animal abuse. You need to find out that in today's society, the science agrees. There's all the largest nutritional organizations on the planet say that we can thrive on a plant-based diet. Therefore, when we kill animals, no, it's not hard. I'm a bodybuilder and a powerlifter. But you're not homeless. You have.
But I'm talking about all the people.
You are. You can't justify because others have to do it.
plant-based diets are more expensive than a
There's
steak,
3
and
studies
many
showing
people
that
can't
it's not
afford
more
it.
expensive. There's studies that showing that it's not more expensive.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's that. Let me give you a card. It's that chip guy. But
Johnny.
be fair, be compassionate. Okay. Don't
Don't just go with the crowd. Trust me. Go learn about it. I think they were. I don't know, everybody. What? That was a weird conversation. There were like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, about 20 of them. There are a lot of 20 people. Eventually their parents took them away from them. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it, right? I don't know if their parents or whoever they were. At least he came back for a card. Yeah, that was a good sign that he came back for a card. Mrs. Bucket, hello, Chip. Hey, Mrs. Bucket, nice to see you here. Daniel Broccoli says, Chip, that was so cool. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I've come to talk to you.
Yeah, you're nice. What's your name?
I'm Blair.
Say it again.
Blair?
Blair. Nice to meet you, Blair. I'm Chip.
Hi,
Are you
Chip.
okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Sure.
Where are you from?
United States.
United States. Where in the U.S.?
Georgia.
Georgia. Oh, I haven't been to Georgia.
Yeah.
Wait.
Been to Florida?
I've been to Florida, yeah.
State right above.
State right above.
Yeah.
Okay. My sister lives in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. State right above us.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So I gotta ask you, I'm assuming also being that you're from US, you're against slavery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and owning people, right?
Right.
Why is it wrong to own a human being?
Oh. Well, because everybody has their ability or the right to their own freedom and their own choices. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would it be wrong to own somebody because you're restricting their right to freedom, or because what if you let them be free in a sense, or let them do sort of what they want to do to some extent, but you're still taking away their autonomy, but by when you need to do something to them, you'll do something to them. Would that still be wrong?
Yeah. I think well, if it's person on person, but then you could go broader and say, all right, well, if we're looking at governments, we're all bound by something, and so if I'm going in the right direction where I think you're going to go with this, then it's wrong to do it to a person as a person, but a larger group influencing a smaller group is something that we get for society.
I'm not going in anywhere neither direction. I'm talking about individual to individual, right? Is it wrong for an individual to take the autonomy out of from another individual because they have power over them and because they get benefit from doing so?
Yes,
it is
Yeah.
wrong. Okay, I appreciate it. And I'm wondering why that is wrong, right? Like, is there something specific to that individual that makes it that it's wrong to do this to them? Like, if they're intellectually challenged, would it still be wrong to do this to them?
Sure, yes.
So even if they don't realize that we do this to them, that we're taking away their autonomy, it's still wrong to take away their autonomy.
Yes, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay. And I would argue it's wrong because they're sentient, because they have emotions and because they feel the repercussions of me taking away their autonomy, right?
Sure.
Okay. I like to bring it back because of this. Do you think it's wrong to do exactly the same thing to an animal?
Oh.
Because they're also sentient, right? For the same reasons.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever really thought about it.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest,
okay. That's fair.
I have
That's
a
fair.
dog.
Fair enough. And I
So
don't necessarily mean with pets, right? But I mean, like, for example, with farm animals, with the animals that we use for food, for clothing, for entertainment, the animals that we generally don't. With dogs, with pets, we can argue that they are, in a sense, a legal property, but we never actually treat them as property, but rather a lot of the times we treat them as companions, right?
Yes.
So there's a thing there. But these other animals, we treat them literally like property, and we treat them not for their benefit, but for our own benefit, right? So isn't it wrong to do this to them, to treat them as property, to use them for our own benefit, and to actually also take away their life and to kill them when we no longer can take what we want from them?
I think you probably have to get a little bit more specific on the animal that you're talking about.
Let's
there's
assume dairy cows, for example.
Okay, well, why don't go with animals that need to be pruned? So we need wool.
Do we need wool?
Well, they don't need the wool. So
do we need the wool?
Well, we use the wool, sure.
We use it, but do we need it?
Well, for clothing.
Can't we get clothing from other...
like cotton?
Yeah.
Okay, instead of wool, sure.
Yeah.
But if you want wool apparel, then you need wool.
But what if I want apparel made of skin of humans? Would that make it okay to kill humans?
No. But so but they're unable to shed the fur, the wool. And in that case, we're providing a service to them.
Oh, we're not.
Well, but I've seen where the animals have gigantic mats.
But we
and-
selectively bred them to have these, so it's unnatural and it's unhealthy for them to have so much hair. We selectively bred them to be this way. We bring them to existence only to use them for that purpose. And when we can no longer use them for that purpose, we kill them.
Well, so I don't know. I
that's
don't
kind
know
of what
about
we
that.
do in animal agriculture.
Well,
yeah.
but it has been done. Perhaps we have bred them to shed a coat that they're unable to shed.
Yeah.
And with that, that's unfortunate. But we didn't do it. You and I didn't do it.
No, but when we buy it, we tell somebody to do it for us.
Well, no. Let's go back further. So we didn't breed the animals to produce a ton of wool that they're unable to shed naturally now.
Yeah.
So now they're in a position where they are unable to shed the wool. So that fur they just melt and it becomes painful and awful and they get sores and all that kind of stuff.
And I can understand why you can see it that way, but the reality is that all these animals are trapped in a cycle of being brought into existence, used, and then killed. And when we pay for it, we pay for the cycle to continue. And that means that when we buy wool or other animal products, in this regards also for food again and for clothing, all of them, we're basically paying for animals to be brought into existence so that we use them and then kill them. It isn't necessarily that they exist and then we use them. It's not like that. It's literally our requests, our demand for those products creates a demand for them to be brought to life and exploited and then killed.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I see that is perhaps the course of it.
Yeah.
And I certainly understand that's certainly. Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's not pleasant to think about.
Yeah, and we could always, I like to think about it this way. If it were, we humans are also animals, we're mammals, right? We're just animals.
Yeah.
If we were to replace in any of these situations the animal with a human being, would it be moral? We gotta ask ourselves that. And if we say no, then how can we ever say that it's moral to do it to an animal? Because that's why I drove all these other questions before when I drove about slavery, and I asked you about intellectually challenged person. At the end of the day, animals are kind of like intellectually challenged people for us, right? They're just they don't have the high intellect that we do, but they have everything else. They have emotions. They have a will to live. They have a desire to be in social activities. They have everything else.
Well, then inside of that, then perhaps they have the desire to be productive and to do things. And so the thing that they could be productive with is they can help feed, not necessarily meat. I'm not vegan. I eat meat. That's.
Yeah, but when you say that they have
milk. So dairy cow.
But you know what happens to dairy cows? So in order for dairy cows to produce milk, they're mammals, so they have to be pregnant. So do you think that farmers wait for cows to be pregnant on their own, or do you think they forcibly impregnate them?
Yeah, there's probably. Yeah.
So the whole thing about it is, I can see how we can justify a situation where we kind of have this communion with animals, but the reality is none of these animals choose to be in that place. There is absolutely no consent for them to be in a situation where they want to be productive for us. Maybe they want to be productive for themselves. Whatever it is, we have no way of knowing because we don't speak their language. But or we don't understand them. But in a sense, us just claiming that we can do whatever we want to them and use them however we please for whatever other justifications we find, I would say they're still immoral because we cannot get that consent. We don't know what they want. We can.
But we don't.
And it's in our own interest, not in their interest, right? If it were in their interest, you could justify it somehow. But if it's in our own interest, it's like we're just using these beings because we have power over them. That's it, for us to get benefit.
Yes, but I mean that's. And there's a lot of that in life, and frankly, life.
But we don't encourage that, do we?
We say we don't, but we do it in society all the time.
But do you encourage that? Let me put it this way: if you had
the option to choose between a product that encourages exploitation, abuse of humans, and one that doesn't encourage exploitation or abuse of humans, wouldn't you say that you have a moral obligation to choose the one that doesn't?
I don't know that. I wouldn't say it's necessarily moral, immoral. Because then you have, where's morality coming from? And then you have to keep going back. And then,
according to your own values, I'm just asking.
well,
according
yeah,
to your
but
own values.
we're using moral. I mean, then
Morality is subjective. That's
Yes,
how I see
yeah,
it,
well,
right?
it is, without a
So
doubt.
that's why I ask according to your own moral values.
Well, and then you go to the Bible, because I think that's where generally morality
I don't know.
comes
I
from.
don't get my morality from the Bible, so I don't know.
Well, you get yours from society.
No, not at all. I get mine from logical thinking, from questioning, from reading, from understanding what it feels right and wrong, why something feels right, why something feels wrong. Like, let me put a hypothetical scenario out there for you, or some that I put for some people sometimes.
Okay.
If there's a dog on the street and somebody's kicking a dog,
Yeah.
and you, what would you do? Would you just walk by and join them? Would you walk by and ignore them, or would you walk by and say and tell them to stop?
Yeah, I'd say stop kicking the dog.
Yeah, but well, where you see, if I bring that back to reality, when we're not vegan, what we're doing is we're joining them because we're kicking a different animal. We're just taking their life. When we're vegan, but we're not speaking up, we're just walking by, ignoring it. We ourselves are not participating in it, but we're just walking by. And when we're doing activism, like I'm doing right now, we're telling people to stop, right? So that's kind of the same thing. And if that person who's kicking that dog, in their religion, it says that it's okay to kick dogs because dogs are inferior. Their religion says that dogs are inferior and it's okay to kick dogs, right? I'm not there to question his religion. I'm just there to question that one particular action that comes to the oppression of one individual, of that dog.
And you can say that, and apparently we have coffee now, which is great news because it's getting cold. But
Yeah.
But all of that morality is learned by us through society, and society has been formed through time. But a lot of that is based on that morality is based on sort of biblical principles, and so that's where I was going when you brought up morality. You have to keep going back and back and back where the morality comes from. But inside of that, I've never really thought about animals and perhaps what their true desire would be. But I'll certainly put some thought into it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you will put some thought into it, and that's already, I guess, a little bit of a win there. But I don't think at the end of the day it matters what we think. It matters what we do more than anything, right? So when
Well, thought drives action. So you can't act without thinking about it.
That's true. That's a good point. I just I guess I want to point it out because it's very important. In that hypothetical scenario with the dog, it's very easy for us to say that we're intervene because we see the direct action happening there. But if that whole action was to happening behind the wall, would we do the same thing knowing that we are participating in it? And that's the question, right? Because all of these things that we do to animals, they're happening behind closed doors. We don't see them, but we still support them. And we still encourage them. When we buy animal products, we encourage dairy cows to have their babies stolen from them. We encourage dairy cows to be forcefully impregnated. And we encourage dairy cows to be killed when they're no longer productive, when they no longer can be impregnated or produce enough milk.
Sure.
And none of that, if we were to see that live, probably we wouldn't agree with it, and probably a lot of the times we would say, stop, no, I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But just because it happens closed doors doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Exactly. And that's true in a lot of things. And then that is a very good point. And thank you for bringing this up, and and thanks for doing this and pulling me aside.
Hey, thank you for having this conversation
Yeah.
with me. I hope you're having a good day so far, and I'll just give you a card that will help you with some of this that I talk to people. I urge you to watch Dominion. That's something cool that you might watch.
Okay.
It shows actually footage from animal agriculture, including in US, and I personally believe there's nothing wrong with knowing what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you know what you pay for, then you can make an informed decision if you really want to support it, because
Fair enough.
you might not know, these industries, they have a financial incentives to not tell you everything.
Sure,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
care about
yeah.
it. I don't care about any of it. And far be it from me, you still make your choices. I probably will never see you again in my entire life. But I'm just saying
You
that.
can watch the video.
Yeah, you can. I can
Yeah.
watch the video. I just mean in the sense that I have no incentives towards you. You got to make your own decisions, and I just want you to be informed what you're paying for. And I'm sure that if your morals are in the right place, if your heart is in the right place, you will choose what's right for you and do the right thing.
Well, Chip, I appreciate it. Thank you again.
What was your name again?
Blair. Yes.
Blair. I remember. Thank
All
you.
right, thank
Have
you.
a good one, Blair.
You too.
Oh, I'm just asking people some questions. You guys want to try a social experiment?
You do it. You do it.
Okay.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
I guess so.
Yeah.
What kind of question is it?
Oh, I just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit.
Okay.
Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, nice. I appreciate it. What's your name?
Johan.
Johan?
Johan, yeah.
No, nice to meet you, Johan. I'm Chip.
Andromeda.
Andromeda. Okay, nice. Okay, I'll just turn this around, and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Change my mind. It should not.
Why not?
Why do you think it should be legal?
I mean, it's kind of a reverse psychology. I believe animal abuse is wrong, but I'm just trying to understand. I'm assuming you guys think animal abuse is wrong also, right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Can I ask why?
Whoa.
To get those kind of reactions.
Yeah.
That's why I do this. Yeah.
It's,
Well, I don't know. Why would you want to abuse an animal? I don't know.
Say it again?
Why would you want to abuse an animal? I don't see.
Maybe you get some benefit from it.
It's like, would we want to be abused?
Well, what kind of benefit would you get?
Let me put it this way. If I take a dog,
Yeah.
I hang them by one leg,
Yeah.
and I beat them to death. One dog every day. And I get benefit by, of course, I get muscles because I punch them to death.
Well,
It's a
you go
punching
to a
bag.
gym. I don't know. That doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it's a gym.
Yeah. I don't know. What do people give you as an argument?
Say it again.
What did people give you as an argument?
Everybody pulls out a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Why do you think me doing that to a dog? Why is that wrong?
It's not nice. So it's like if you abuse a human, say I guess animals are.
There's no rhyme or reason behind it. I don't know. I just don't get the mentality behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's wrong because they feel the repercussions of me abusing them, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, they suffer from my abuse, right? They would feel me punching them,
Yeah.
and even if they wouldn't suffer, like if I inject them with something that they don't suffer, right, like anesthesia or something, it's still wrong because I remove their autonomy. I do whatever I want to them, and for my own benefit, not for their benefit, right? So in a sense, it's wrong because of all these reasons.
Sure, but is animal abuse legal in this country?
No, I don't think it is. No.
Right. So what's the problem?
There is a little bit of hint where animal abuse.
Okay, for say like it's cosmetic. So
Yeah.
I try to
Okay.
minimize
Is that what you-
the
okay.
chemicals.
There's one
but
thing,
they
yeah.
do get abused
There
by
you
the
go.
test.
There you go.
And
That's one thing. Is there any other place where we abuse animals?
Medicine.
Medicine.
They do tests like
Yeah.
rats to see how they react. But then that would benefit us as well because
But it doesn't benefit them.
it wouldn't benefit them, but in a way it slightly benefits us. Like,
do you think it's
say-
okay to use?
I'm not saying that it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying like say
It's
we
the
take some
same with the
medicine.
dog, right? I benefit
Yeah.
from it. not
I
them.
mean, I don't know if you benefit from punching a dog. I don't know what benefit
no,
there
but
is.
yeah.
to it.
I get
Yeah,
muscles.
that's.
Like-
I mean, medicine. I can understand the benefit. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but I can understand it. I don't know, punching a dog. You don't.
What about food?
For food?
What,
Yeah,
eating
do you
food?
think we're
eating
abusing
food.
animals? Yeah.
Abusing in
Well,
Okay, the
taking
thing is,
their
like-
life, removing their autonomy, stealing their babies, forcibly
Are you
impregnating
vegan?
them, killing them. Yes.
Are you vegan?
Yeah. Why are you guys laughing? Have you had this conversation before or what?
No, it's just a big thing.
yeah.
It's a big thing
It,
now.
it depends how it's done.
It's a
You
big
know,
thing because no animal rights
Okay.
activists we
But
fight for animals.
do you
nowadays,
think
yeah.
vegan diet is more healthy?
I don't
Or
care.
it's
It's
because-
the only thing I can tell you is that the plant-based diet, not vegan diet, a plant-based diet can be at least just as healthy. At least. I don't care if it can be healthy. It can be healthier. It can be less healthy. It doesn't really matter. It matters how you
But
chose that.
you don't like the animal abuse side of it.
Being vegan literally means opposing animal exploitation. It means we don't want animals to be treated like objects. We don't want them to be used because if you replace that animal with another animal, say a human, because humans are also animals, if you replace everything that we do to animals with a human, we all say it's extremely fucked up. But somehow we think that if they're an animal in that place, it's okay to do so. So we vegans, we made that click and we realized we're all just animals. we're more intelligent, we created a society, we have power over animals, but just because we have all this, does that really give us the right to do whatever we want to animals?
But what if the animals are killed in a humane way? And so they don't necessarily feel
Is there
it
a
or
humane way? You know, humane means with compassion and benevolence. Is there a compassionate way to kill somebody?
Well, I mean, if you're looking to, I don't know, feed your family and whatever in the same way that
Why not feed them
animals.
plants?
Pardon?
Why not feed them plants and plant-based?
Well, you get different things from meat. You get certain vitamins and minerals, and
you can get all the nutrition and
some of
that
them
you
can,
want
some
from
of them you
plants and
can't.
plant-based.
Some of the B vitamins, for instance, might be lacking in certain
Like
certain
B12,
plants,
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so B12 is true. B12 is the only vitamin that we can get from animal products,
Yeah.
and we can't get from plants. But the reality is,
You can
B12 is
supplement
B12
it,
is
but-
not. You can supplement, and B12 is not made by animals. B12 is made by a bacteria. And normally that's found on the ground, and animals now, we fucked up the ground, we all know, with so much intensive agriculture, we fucked up the grounds, and there isn't that much B12, so actually animals are fed B12 supplements themselves. So when you're getting B12 from animal products, you're just getting it from a supplement secondhand.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that insofar as if you're going to eat meat, try to do it in a way that
Like
the
moderate.
animals.
Oh, that's not what
will
I'm saying at all, no. I don't
No,
think
but that would be what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You know,
yeah.
you try to do it in a way that they're not living in overcrowded places, instead, and they have a good
Which
life,
is
etc.
really hard unless you pay for like grass-fed.
But
organic.
I'm just asking this. Fuck all the labels: breastfed,
Yeah.
organic, free range. These are just labels for the consumers. They're not labels for the animals.
Yeah.
You know. I'm just asking this in a situation where you have a readily available plant-based option and one where you have an animal-based option. You know that there's some form of inherent animal abuse, some form of something that happened to that animal that you would never want it to happen to a human being. So why is it that how could we ever morally justify choosing that over the other one when we can get nutrition from the other one? And taste and everything we want, just maybe different, right?
Taste of meat, you can't beat that.
I mean, you can. First of all, I'll tell you that you can. I used to love meat. I actually was a carnivore at some point, and you can because taste just changes. You probably
Sure,
don't like the
no,
same things you did as a child.
that's
also,
true.
right? It's just that do you really think that taste could justify the horrors that one animal goes through?
I mean, I understand your perspective, but I don't know. I think if you kill an animal with the intent behind it being that you're just gonna feed yourself and your family, I don't see it as much of a problem. For instance, I don't know in the same way that a lion might kill an animal just to feed themselves. In that way, we're just part of that bigger circle of life, right?
So are you saying that it's okay to do it because lions do it?
No, well, no, not because lions do it, but because that's something we've done for as part of our evolution, I guess. So,
But, do you think that there are other things that we've done part of our evolution that were immoral and we
So what
stopped?
would happen? Like say everyone's vegan or vegetarian,
Yeah.
and the population of every animal would increase, right?
Why? The whole purpose. So all of these animals, I was explaining to the other guy that was stopped here. All of these animals are also are trapped in an endless cycle of them being brought to life for the sole purpose of being exploited
Well,
and
that's
killed.
from
They're
pigs
killed as
and cows.
babies. They're
Yeah.
not killed as adults or anything. They get killed at the minute that they reach the maximum weight that they can, and that usually happens at teenagers, right? Like it happens for humans also. Then they get killed. There's no reason to keep
Right.
them alive for longer.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's wrong to do that to them. And the minute that everybody goes vegan, that cycle stops. So animals are no longer brought into existence.
what if it was hunting or something? What if people went hunting? Would that be better or worse?
I come back to the same example. I have a plant-based option and one where I can kill an animal. Why would I ever choose to take the life of an animal when I
Well,
can
I mean,
choose not
you
to?
don't know. I mean, nobody knows how plants feel about it. I mean, we assume they don't feel anything, but they communicate as well.
It's not
and-
just an assumption. It's an assumption based on
Okay.
certain
That's
items, right?
fair.
Like animals have cognition. They
Yeah.
have a brain. They
Yeah.
have the whole sentience and feelings and emotions are emerging properties
Yeah.
from brains and central nervous systems. Plants have none of those.
Okay, but what? Okay, so I mean, complete hypothetical.
But we're not against like abuse. I mean, we're not for abusing animals. We're not.
No, I understand.
vegan
I
or
understand. I
vegetarian.
understand. I understand. I
And
just.
he likes meat.
I understand. I completely understand. I
100
used to like.
I
meat
like my
too,
vegetables too,
you
man.
know?
I like everything. But
I just want to explain because you know, like we were brought in a society where we think it's okay to do this. But if I were to ask you, just as hypotheticals out there, if instead of cows, chickens, and pigs, it were cats and dogs, nowadays, with your knowledge nowadays, would you still continue to eat meat of cats and dogs?
It would put me off, I guess. But you know what? They should make healthy food more cheaper, affordable. Like you buy a salad at the restaurant and what? It's like £10, and that come on, that's ridiculous. It's like what, £2?
What do you think? Would you still eat cats and dogs?
I don't know. I'm
Cats
not
and
gonna. Say,
dogs.
I'm not gonna look. If that's all there was, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't.
Then I go even further. How
What do
about
you mean
humans?
cats? What do you mean cats and
No, I
dogs?
would not eat humans.
You would not eat humans,
Cats
even
and
if it
dogs.
were healthy for you to do so.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Culturally in Asia, some of them do eat.
Humans?
Okay, no, not humans. You
Cats and
know,
dogs.
cats and
Yeah,
dogs.
I understand. So the reason why I pose these hypotheticals and I go so far as to humans, because then the next logical question for me to ask you is, well, then what is the difference
No, I
between
get
a
you.
human being and a chicken, right, or a cow that justifies killing one for
Okay.
optional food but not the other?
The difference, I guess, we are able to.
Let me ask you
like,
this before
we
you
can
answer.
educate. I mean.
Let me ask you
it's
this
hard.
question before all of this, so that it makes the question easier. What is it that an animal doesn't have, that if a human being also didn't have it, it would make it okay to kill them and eat them?
I mean, I don't know
Would
what
you?
they have.
So you would put them in the same level as humans?
I think my value system is not everybody's equal, of course, right? I have a value system where my family has more value than other individuals. You are strangers to me, so you don't have that much value to me. And if I had the pet, I don't have a pet, but if I had the pet, probably they would be more valued than you. So in a sense, my value system would be mixed, where I would have some humans more value, some animals more value than other humans. But everybody else, I think they have the same value. They have the same intrinsic value. And then by that, I mean, I respect you because you value your life just as much as I value my life, just as much as you value your life. And I understand that animals have the same. All of them value their own life just as much as we do ours. They can't communicate that to us, and maybe they can't even explain that to us, or they can't judge that themselves. But you do see that in their behavior. None of them want to die. All of them want to feel joy. All of them still feel pain and suffer. They feel anxiety. They have all of the same emotions that we do.
I guess animals wouldn't live the same way as us. Like they're not gonna go to school. They're not gonna get taxed by the government.
humans
They're not
who
gonna
don't
go
do
on
that also.
holidays. They're not gonna.
I mean, I don't know if they feel the same as we do. I don't know. I'm not. You know.
I
I've
don't
never
know
been,
if you feel the same way that I do.
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
same
I
time,
don't know. Yeah. No, that's right.
I
And
just infer from your behavior that you might, right?
Yeah.
I just
No.
that we
Right.
do
We
the same
assume.
for animals.
But I don't necessarily assume that they feel exactly the same way that, because we've got more self-awareness, I suppose.
I don't think we do, and I also don't think that even if we did, I just don't think that the self-aware that would somehow morally justify. Because if we find humans who have less self-awareness, who are cognitively impaired, who have literally the cognition of an animal, I don't think it would be right to kill them for food also.
Okay, so completely hypothetical, but why if in 20 years they find that actually plants communicate and have some degree of awareness, what would people eat then?
Well, I would argue that if we find that, then we need to come up with synthetic food, right?
Which
But
they
even
will in the future.
but
Lab-grown meat,
or stuff like. But even in that situation, it still is morally preferable to be vegan, because a lot of the times when we eat animal products, we forget that these animals have been fed plants themselves.
Yeah.
So on top of the exploitation, abuse, and slaughter that for one animal, we also have many more plants that
I'm just
we
thinking
kill.
my sister's gonna love this.
Yeah. We also have many more plants that we kill, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it's just a simple physics. I think it's the second law of thermodynamics, where obviously the energy that goes into an animal is not the same energy that will come out.
Sure.
So in the same sense that if we were to eat the same amount of plants, so take in the same amount of energy, we would be getting way more. So we would be killing less plants if we were to be vegan. So even if plants were to find out that they're sentient, it would still be preferable to be vegan in that
So it's
situation.
more like a moral case being vegan.
I guess it depends on people, but for a lot of people,
veganism is literally just morality.
Yeah.
Veganism, it's a moral stance against animal exploitation. It means animals should not be treated like objects. And that's a consequence. Of course, we don't eat animals. We don't eat their products because they're treated like objects. We don't wear their skin like leather. We don't go to zoos where they get exploited. All of this. It's just a consequence. The diet is a consequence of it. If I were to say I had a wife who cooks for me, and she cooks for me only because I force her to do so, then all of a sudden I become a feminist, she no longer cooks for me, then as a consequence my diet changes. But that doesn't mean that being a feminist is a diet thing. Just like being a vegan is not a diet thing. It's a animal rights thing.
Are there vegans who do it for dietary and nutritional reasons?
There are vegans there are people who say they're vegan for that, but they are not actually vegan. A lot of the times, so the reason why food is labeled as vegan, it's because it's vegan food, but it's not food that is vegan. It's food for vegans.
Yeah.
So a lot of people conflate that and think that veganism is a diet, but the reality is the diet is just a consequence. So when we say a vegan diet, it's the diet that comes as a consequence of being vegan. It's not necessarily that it's a particular diet.
If I ask like 20 vegan people, will they agree with you?
If you ask 20 people who are actually vegan, yes, they will agree with me. Yeah, you can look it up on Google, by the way, because if you look up what the word vegan means, when it was defined, I don't know, 50 years ago or something, it literally means this: the rejection of animal exploitation as much as it's practicable, as it's possible and
What
practicable.
about eating halal and killing the animal really fast?
You still
And
have the
they
same
don't
options
feel it.
always.
But they don't feel it.
Let me
It's
ask you,
supposed
if
to be
you
a quick
replace
death.
the animal with a human, is it okay?
Well, I wouldn't eat a human being unless
Not you,
it's
but
for
let's say you
survival
wouldn't.
reasons.
But let's say there's a person who has a taste for human meat. If you replace that animal with a human, would it be okay to do it halal or however you want?
Wait, so this person
Likes human meat.
likes human meat. I mean, they probably deserve to die if they like human meat, right? So just
I don't know. I don't think you guys deserve to die because you like the taste of animal flesh.
I
If somebody
mean-
likes the taste of human flesh, why would they deserve
but
to die?
that's not socially acceptable, and also like
But socially
medically,
acceptable. But you know,
I'm
like,
sure you'll get problems by eating
just to tell you,
humans.
socially acceptable means nothing. You know, at some point in our
I agree.
history, so it was socially acceptable to put down women. At other points of our history, it was socially acceptable to enslave people. Socially acceptance means absolutely nothing. It just means everybody does it, therefore we accept it. But it doesn't make it right or wrong. So that's why I'm asking, like, in a situation where you think, well, what if
It's replaced by a human who likes human flesh. I probably wouldn't want to kill them in a fast way. I'd want to kill them in a slow way and torture them.
No. If the human who likes flesh wants to kill a human the fast way, however way you think
So
it's
you
okay to
kill a
do to an
human
animal.
like you know,
Yeah.
quick
yeah,
and
and
fast
then-
just to eat them so that it's painless. They don't feel it.
And it's not
fine.
for survival reasons.
No, it's not
you
for
just like-
survival
you just
reasons.
like it.
No, obviously, no. I can't put myself in that position because it's disgusting.
It's
and,
disgusting,
you know,
but why
people
wouldn't
don't
it?
eat-
Why wouldn't it be disgusting for
I don't-
animals? right?
Look, I get what you mean. Morally, I
mean.
feel like I don't have an issue with you know.
Maybe
I
you
don't know if that
haven't seen it.
makes
Have
me.
you ever seen what animals go through, like footage of
No, not really. And
slaughterhouses
okay,
such?
but so morally, I guess I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
But I
Okay, you know what we don't agree with? We don't agree with overconsumption.
definitely.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
like-
So
But
definitely not that.
overconsumption has nothing to do with what we do to animals and animal rights, right?
But
No,
I
but
think
they can-
if I would prefer a system where animals are treated, okay, fairly. You can say what's fairly, etc. But you know, have a good life, and then but then with the aspect of just killing an animal, I don't because they will die in the wild anyway, right? I mean, so
You're gonna die anyway.
No,
Is that
exactly.
a good
And,
enough
I mean,
justification for somebody to
when
kill
I'm
you?
dead, you put me.
No,
They
no,
do
no,
that in
no,
some
no, but-
countries.
but
You
that's a
put-
difference.
Put me on the roof, have the crows eat me.
Yeah,
I'll be fine
fair
by
enough.
me. You know.
When you're dead.
Yeah.
But again, you're gonna die anyway. Would that be a good enough justification for me to take your life because you're gonna die anyway?
Well, they eat.
we
they don't
can't
mind
kill
eating-
animals because they're gonna die anyway, right?
Yeah. They
That's
don't
the
mind
whole point.
eating dead flesh. I do. So.
There's a difference between death and killing. These animals don't die; they get killed.
Yeah.
And that's where I oppose. I oppose the idea of us imposing our will onto them. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
our animal. Do you guys think animals are here for us?
No. I think no. I don't. Yeah.
No.
But do you think we treat them as if they're here for us? Like we literally bring
I
them
don't
to
have
life
that
to
by the
use
way.
them
No, I
and
don't
kill
think
them.
so. I think we treat the world in a survival way, and so we just deal with our
Not
environment.
animals, do we? Huh?
Well, I mean, meat. You know, I know what you're saying, but I think meat is an important part of your diet. I think it's.
a
you
balanced
get,
diet.
You get a lot of out of
veggies.
it. You get
Obviously,
a lot.
you can think that, but like, if you were to find out that
Well, it's
the largest,
scientifically
the
backed,
scientific,
so-
the largest nutritional and dietitian organizations on the planet, most of them and the largest ones claim that
that
they claim that you can thrive on a plant-based diet. That means
That
you can
doesn't
get
mean
all the
much to me.
nutrients that you
I
need.
bet you all the CEOs of
No,
those
I do
companies are
not.
overweight
I
and
don't
out of
trust-
shape. I don't. You
That,
know.
that doesn't mean anything. I'm personally like again, like being vegan is not a diet. It's not about.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
not
it's
about
not a
like
diet,
you can
it's
you can be healthy on a plant-based diet. You can be not healthy. You can be skinny. You can be fat.
For
I'm
sure.
personally, I do powerlifting. I do bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You can do everything that you want, and there's a lot of athletes nowadays.
Now, if I put you on a meat-based diet, I bet you I increase your
I
powerlifting.
actually was eating animal products, and
Okay.
I can tell you that once I switched to going
Okay,
vegan, I actually
for-
went way better.
I have a question. Protein shakes.
Yeah.
Do you take protein shakes? Vegan
Yeah.
protein shakes.
Yeah, 'cause there's protein
there's a
powder
recent
that's
study
vegan.
that most vegan protein shakes are actually full of heavy metals.
I saw that there's certain protein powders, certain plant-based protein
Yeah.
powders, but there's other
Majority
plant-based.
of-
No, there's other plant-based protein powders that are not that don't have it.
So
right?
now
Like
you gotta,
they
like,
even
pick
in
and
that
choose.
article that you read, they mention all the alternatives, including plant-based alternatives. I actually read
But
that
you can still
article. I actually read that
minimize-
article live last Sunday, so
Oh,
I know
yeah?
what you
Yes,
mean.
it's
yeah.
really recent,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was really recent. So that article also mentions that you can take pea protein. I think there's some proteins that have been shown to have heavy metals, but you can still have a lot of them that don't. There's other companies who have the same plant-based proteins that don't have heavy metals.
Like which ones?
I have no clue because
There'll
I don't
be
remember the
some.
companies that they were showing there. They were just talking about certain companies that have that, but there's companies who have that tested, and you can look it up. Like I think Orgain, I don't know if you're from US, but Orgain is one company from US who has them tested and they don't have any issues.
Yeah, that'll be-
There's several companies. Like the whole idea is you can find ways to make it work. It's just about wanting to make it work, about not wanting to put animals in that position, not wanting to exploit animals.
I mean, I feel, regardless of what the studies say, and I like to follow the science of nutrition and performance, etc. But I do feel that meat is an important part of the diet because we've evolved with it really, and that it can fulfill certain things that plant cannot.
Can you get collagen from plants?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can.
I
But
don't think collagen is an important, is a essential. I mean,
it might not be.
essential
It might not be
Oh,
essential.
actually, joints, marine, bovine collagen, type 1 and type 3.
But it's
That's
not
for your
essential.
bones and joints. Well, as you get older.
It's not essential, but it increases your quality of life potentially,
yeah.
right? It might
Not
or it might
necessarily.
not.
I'm actually studying to be a certified nutritionist. I can tell you that all of these usually they're
Okay,
they're
what
they're
would
things
you
you
say
can
are
get from other
essentials?
sources.
Like what vitamins?
Essential. There's certain essential vitamins like zinc, like magnesium, like B12. I think B2 is another one. There's vitamin C. I don't remember all of them, but I can tell you that some of these are essential because our body doesn't produce them, so we need to get them. But it doesn't matter the source that we get them from. It doesn't matter if we get them from a supplement. It doesn't matter if we get them from plant-based sources. It doesn't matter if we get them from animal-based sources. What matters is that they get into us, right? Health is not necessarily about something being natural. Health is about having. The only reason why natural-based foods are usually healthier is because it's usually a diversified diet. It's usually a diet that contains absolutely all the, it contains a multitude of vitamins and minerals, but it's not that it being natural makes it inherently healthy, right? If I go around eating dirt is natural, but that in no way is healthy for me. Shit is natural, but in no way it's
I
not-
agree with you. I agree
it's,
with you. But having said that, I don't necessarily think that we've got the knowledge and the understanding of nutrition to make artificially to produce food that contain everything that balanced diet would contain.
We do. I have a balanced diet. I've been vegan for 3
okay,
years.
well,
I've been vegetarian for 7
You
before
might think
that.
you
so-
do, but I might disagree with you. And I think
How do you know you have a balanced diet?
I do blood work every year.
right. You,
What's
and
every year? Would that be enough every year? Like
It-
that will,
every
that will
look,
fluctuate.
you might have a healthy level of different hormones, etc. But you might find in 50 years that maybe your joints have deteriorated faster.
It doesn't
or,
work, the
or
body
whatever.
doesn't work like that. No.
Well, it can do if you don't.
No, it doesn't.
heal
If
it.
you have all the if you have all the balanced diet, it's not like if you think that all of the sudden you've eaten from different sources and your body will all of the sudden heal better or heal in a different way.
No, but like
your body's joints will be worse if you have certain vitamins or minerals
We
that
mentioned
don't work,
collagen,
right?
right.
But like the only reason I don't know exactly what the body needs to produce collagen, but what I can tell you is that if the body has all the nutrients that it needs to produce collagen, it will produce all the collagen that it needs.
Right, it will do.
You
Agreed.
adding
Decreases
extra
as
will
you get older.
Well, even if it decreases, it only decreases as you are older because your body doesn't need as much. The body is trying
Right.
to be efficient, right? So if you're not working out enough, of course it will decrease, right? Because
It will do. It will. Look, if you give it what it needs to have collagen,
Yeah.
it will have collagen. But the thing is, can we get that out of
You
a
can.
plant-based diet? And maybe collagen, maybe. But I feel like at this moment in time, we might not have the overall understanding that we need to be able to make.
But there's studies. It's been 30 years
Yeah,
of hundreds
it's not
of
a long time.
studies
It's not
showing
that
of
much.
plant-based diets are you can thrive on them.
You
like
can
you
thrive,
can choose.
yeah.
You can choose to believe or not believe on them, right? Like you can choose to say whatever you want to choose, but at the end of the day, you gotta either go with the whole idea of I'm being a little bit ignorant about it because I choose to not believe the science about it.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to believe whatever
Look-
you want, but what happens is there's victims happening on the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, I
like
get that.
like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we need to have a little bit of obligation towards them. We need to understand that this isn't that for them. It's extremely life and death. They're black and white. They're suffering. They're exploited. They're killed. All of this happens to them. We can't just choose however we want and make choices of what our beliefs are when there's victims involved. When there's no victims involved, far be it from me to believe. You can believe whatever you want. Hell, I tell sometimes people that I believe in a flying spaghetti monster. It hurts nobody. Whatever happens, right? I don't care what people believe in. I only care when their beliefs are causing victims. And in this time, like if you choose to believe that you can't be healthy on a plant-based diet, you are causing
That's not
victims.
what I'm saying. I believe you can be healthy. I think you can be very
be healthy.
healthy. I feel that, you might be healthier on a balanced diet.
But there's no
I've-
superlative to healthy, That's what we need to understand that. I know that nowadays there's this trend of saying, what was it, health hacking, what is it? This whole idea that, oh, what if you were even healthier? What if, no, there's not such thing. This is mambo jumbo that industries try to sell you products. The reality is healthy is absolutely the top of what we can be. If a human being is healthy, like as healthy as they can be, thrive, that's exactly as healthy as they
Well,
can
you can
be.
be healthy. You can be a little bit less healthy, or
You
you
can be a little bit less healthy, but
Right,
when you are a little bit less healthy, well, what you're talking about is maybe you have some nutrient deficiencies, maybe you have some, I don't know, you're not working out enough, whatever
Yeah,
it is,
sure.
all those situations, right? But in the situations that I'm proposing, for specific actions that I'm saying, you can be at least just as healthy as you would on any other diet. If you were to choose to eat and kill dogs, animals, whatever it is that you want to kill and eat, you can be at least just as healthy on a plant-based diet. And in fact, there's studies showing that you can be even healthier. But I don't want to touch upon those,
Yeah,
and I don't
okay,
want to
fair
make
enough. You want
those
to look at
claims
the-
because all I want to say is that the most important part is that
The morality of it.
if they can be equally at least as healthy, then the morality, we should at least look into it. Because otherwise, what are we doing? How can we justify killing innocent sentient beings or forcing them into slaughterhouses for us, right? And let me put it this way, because we had a long conversation and I know I'll keep it for longer, and I also got to go.
How far is the Van Gogh Museum?
Van Gogh Museum, it's right there. It's not long. It's a circular one.
Okay.
I just urge you. I just urge you one thing, and there's nothing. Watch either Dominion or the most important speech you'll ever hear. I wrote down the resources. Yeah, this is my YouTube channel. This is a QR code that you can scan. Yeah, I just urge you one thing: to watch one of those things. Know what you're paying for. There's nothing wrong with knowing what you're paying for, because
No, for sure.
all of these industries, they have financial incentives to sell you a certain image of it.
Yeah.
But this isn't that. This is just the reality of it. You see it. You do your own documentation. After I saw stuff like that, I said I don't believe that it's happening. I did it on my own. I did research that it's happening here in the Netherlands. It is. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. What do I do now? And then I decided to go vegan because I don't want to be part of it, right? So I made my diet work for me. I'm healthy. I'm thriving. I'm on a plant-based diet. I actually, my markers in the gym are going up every day. I'm performing well. My mind is very clear. I'm performing everything. So I'm just saying, you can be at least just as healthy as you want to be. Just keep that in mind. But you gotta at least consider the victims, and you gotta look what you're paying for, because it's so fucking horrible. And what I regret is not looking into it earlier and participating in this absolutely horrific thing. You probably don't want to be part of it, so look into it.
I'll have a look
I
at one
don't
of the
want to,
documentaries.
and if I can minimize it, sure. Like especially watching Graham Hancock's Amazon, like how much they've reduced.
Oh yeah, of the
land,
Amazon stuff. Yeah,
for
yeah.
Yeah, the
agriculture.
deforestation
It's-
from
yeah,
agriculture is
that's
horrible.
That's
Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for
Well, no,
having this
thank you.
conversation with me.
Okay.
So
Please,
that way.
please give that a watch. Yeah, it's that way. It's a
straight on.
circular building.
Okay, perfect.
Have an
Thank
awesome
you.
day,
All right,
and
you look at yourself.
promise me you'll watch one of those
Yes,
things.
no, we will.
Okay,
Sure,
I
sure.
appreciate you
Okay.
guys. Okay,
You
have a good one. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I think that's it. I don't think we're going to have more conversations. That's it. We've had enough conversations. I got to go because I have some plans tonight. They always want to go minimize, says Casey Venable. I don't think Casey they meant necessarily minimize, but rather they said minimize. I think they were referring to deforestation or something. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I didn't want to move away from that discussion that they were having, but I did want to address some of their concerns. I did want to get them to understand the point. I don't know how it was what it was, but anyway, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just ending this. I would love to do this, but if you want, I can give you a card and you can look more into it. So, wait. You have my YouTube channel there, and you can see kind of what I do. But you also have several resources. Okay. Have a good day. Thank you. You too. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I want to do. I want to do that. I would have talked normally, but I really have to go. And I also have to go to the bathroom. So yeah. When will I be back online? Asks me the vegan plant. I will be back online tomorrow. Probably an hour earlier than I did it today. Thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate everybody who made a donation. I appreciate all the moderators in the chat. I appreciate everybody who's been talking to people in the chat for being active. Oh, it's so helpful, you know. It's so helpful to know that you guys are doing this for me. I'm just sitting here having conversations, and you guys are talking to people in the chat and everything. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Meat forever, as God said, says Willie too. Willie, I'm sorry if your God says that it's okay to kill innocent sentient beings and use them as resources, as objects, to treat vulnerable, defenseless creatures as objects, then oh my God, I feel sorry for you and your God. But hey, you do you. I mean, I hope you don't do you if you do you means you killing other innocent sentient beings or using them as resources or using them as objects. But I cannot actually stop you. I can only tell you that what you're doing is kind of fucked up. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit that notification bell so that you know when I go online. And yeah, it was a nice day. There were a lot of people. I hope that we get a lot of people also tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome day. If you're not vegan, go vegan. Look at the resources. I'll put the resources in the description of the video. Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. Watch the Minion on YouTube. Look at all the resources, okay? Just look it up. Get informed. Don't just be here. Even if you're not vegan, even if you're a troll, get informed. If you want to debate the vegan, if you want to understand the perspective, get informed. It's very important. Get informed. And if you choose that you don't want to be part of any of it, you have several resources. I'll put them down in the footer of this video. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Like, I've been talking so much, I need to take a break from talking. So thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome day. And if you're not vegan, speak up for animals. If you're vegan, if you're not vegan, go vegan. If you're vegan, speak up for animals. And if you already speak up for animals, come back here when you can. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye.